And welcome to another episode of Sharing with Shellshock. I am your host, ShellshockPrime, and tonight we are here for another episode of the show. We got two returning guests and one new guest tonight. So first things first, good to see you, Sylverstone Khandr. Welcome back.
Hey, glad to be back as always, man. So super excited for this episode for sure.
100%. And good to see you, Korshal. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you for having me back on. I'm glad I could make it after last time. I kind of, couldn't make it. Sorry to the fans, but I'm here this time. That's
Yes,
what matters.
you are here this time. That's for sure. And welcoming here for the first time, Miz Sylver, Rydia.
Hi. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on this. I carry my 3DS a lot of places, so I'm so happy to be here.
Yep. So we definitely like to talk about the 3DS a lot, and we're going to be talking a lot about the 3DS tonight. But first, what type of content do you do, Sylver?
Well, currently, for those who don't know, I'm on hiatus from streaming, but when I was streaming, I've debuted a lot of Nintendo and PC gaming content, a lot of indie games coverage as well as part of my series called For Each Generation, covered over 100 indie games for developers and more. Nowadays, I've been mostly working on writing on my blog, Khandr's Corner, which is still, work in progress, but it's been going pretty well so far. Working on a big PAX East write-up because we've been to PAX East, I think, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Honestly, the
3
time
weeks.
God, the times like it has flown since. And I've been working on editing the panel videos for me for Nova, for the Shadow panel and the Genki panel and much more. But basically, a lot of stuff centering on Nintendo and PC gaming and just gaming in general because I'm a huge enthusiast and I play all sorts of games.
Yep. Awesome. What about you, Korshal?
So I kind of do two things on two different wavelengths here. I am a kind of like part-time streamer, I'd say. I do it about 2-3 times a week. I love my platformers and other Nintendo type games. You see me doing that a lot. A lot of Sonic, a lot of Mario kind of things. Mega Man's big. I am slowly going to get the reputation of playing a lot of Fortune Street. No one's going to know what that is. That's all right. You don't have to know right now. Just know I do it a lot. And the other big thing I do is I'm a music remixer on YouTube. If you find my channel on there, I predominantly do a bunch of game remixes. Mega Man is a very big one, including Mega Man sound font. I love that stuff. I love music a lot. So you'll find my specialty on there to be so many remixes.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense.
100%. Now, what about you, Rydia? What content do you do?
I have a podcast with one of my friends, the Wolf Doctor, that's all about Pokemon games, and I think our PAX episode is up.
Ooh.
I did used to stream a bit, and especially with Pokemon.
You're cutting in and out a lot.
Oh no! Let me see if I get closelier. Is that better?
Yeah.
Taking them.
Yeah.
My computer is a little old.
That's fine.
I see.
I know I need to get a new one. But I host a podcast with a friend, and I used to stream a lot on Twitch, mostly active games like Just Dance or some VR stuff like Pistol Whip, and of course Tetris and just a lot of other fun PlayStation titles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I see these people at conventions all the time, which is always good and makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's good to have you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm excited to be.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk a lot about the 3DS right now because the 3DS has been out since February of 2011 in Japan, March 2011 in North America. And Nintendo had been actively supporting it from then all the way up to 2019, well into the Switch's life cycle. But despite that, there's a lot of games, there's a lot of memories, there's a lot of features. The biggest one being like the glasses-free 3D that they wanted to push, hence the fact that it's called a 3DS. And let's start with you, Sylver. What was it like when you first got your Nintendo 3DS, and what do you think of the glasses-free 3D?
Oh, okay. So first sound of 3DS, I remember back to like 2011. That's forever ago. So basically, like I was very much obsessed with the 3DS, kind of going into it. Like I'd been a huge Nintendo DSi owner at the time. I was also like really big into DSi wear, so I was excited for the 3DS eShop. I was looking forward to like a lot of like the new stuff for the 3DS. The last 3D. I remember when Nintendo just kind of just dropped the news like, "Hey, we're making the 3DS," and we're like, "What the heck's a 3DS?" And we're all making up like our own like ideas of like what this 3D DS could be. And I remember being in the crowd for the reveal of the 3DS at Nintendo World back then, seeing what it looked like, and I remember like just being like such a really interesting like vibe, seeing like how it's the same kind of like blue 3DS that you see here, the aqua blue. I'm like, it looks like a little like ice cream sandwich type thing. And then when the water opened up, it had the flat screen and the bottom screen. I'm like, wow, that looks about what I expected, but also like there's like a lot of potential with that, right?
Yeah.
And I was following it this like nonstop to launch. So my launch wasn't like me going to the store. This is still like before I really got to be involved in like a lot of like groups and stuff in the city. My launch was simply going to my nearby GameStop at midnight, just picking up a 3DS, and I went there with the intention to just buy the 3DS and Pilot Wings. But I got smooth talked by the GameStop employee, and I bought two more games, which was Super Shredder for 3D Edition and Nintendogs. Uh, I was like, again, I was so set on just getting that. I wasn't really as interested in Steel Diver. Sadly, it looks pretty cool, but like, it wasn't really like my type of game. And I gotta say, like the first time when you see the glasses free 3D, like you think it's like kind of like a gimmick. It's like you wonder like how does it work, and then somehow it just works. Granted, back then, like you had to work within the sweet spot because before the super stable 3D with the new 3DS going forward, you had to kind of hold it in the right position to get that nice effect, and being able to kind of like take time like with a slider and then cranking it like way up like was insane. I remember it was like Pilot Wings Resort that like it felt like you were like looking into a window, and like it really blew me away. And I remember this being like so captivated. So like the next day, I remember this very well because I think I saw a video of it on YouTube and unlisted. Like I took it to school with me,
Mhm.
and I had my friends like say like I gave them like kind of like a sampler of like, hey, here's a 3DS, and then I take my time turning on the slider to see the 3D,
Yeah.
and like their reactions were great because like I was. I was showing them like my little Nintendo, and like they really liked it. And then like I saw like like you can get like even like more realistic, and it was great. Like with that, and also the 3D picture taking was also like really really big as well. Um, God, first couple of days was just me trying all sorts of weird things with the 3D, with AR games, with Street Pass Meat Plaza. I was getting used with that, and also just playing a lot of Pallet Wings, and also a good amount of Street Fighter because that was my online game, and Nintendo. Just I remember like just like it was a very good like solid like couple of days just understanding the 3D effect and like seeing how it all like kind of came together. Um, I feel like at that time, like comparing it to like my DSi, because I had worn that thing out like immensely. Like I was taking photos with it. I was using it as like my MP3 player. I was using it as like my everything device. This is before I got a smartphone, by the way.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a smartphone until like 2012. The 3DS was still like my Uber smartphone S thing, because so I still clocked in like over like 100 hours in 3DS sound because I just took my SD card from my DSi and just put it in my 3DS, and like, I had all my music in there and everything, all my anime music, all my game music and everything, whatever I was listening to at the time. It was like for the longest time it was like my true like everything device, and that thing and I were inseparable. Like I would never be like caught dead without it. I'd always have my headphones on in the train listening to it. It was a very very good, capable machine too. Like I think that's the thing I miss about it too. Just like before smartphones kind of just like dominated everything,
Mhm.
you'd have that device that would really kind of just take that place for you. Granted, the 3DS never had like a great camera per se, uh, but it was still really cool just to see how everything would just like would look. And then also, I remember around the time this is still as things were developing before I guess the Street Pass Group really took off. Like I remember there was a site called 3D Porch, And what you would do is that you would upload your 3D photos to that website, and they would show you like how it would look in 3D. It would like do the rock back and forth, and like it would show you how the 3D stuff looks. I think the site's like offline now, but like I remember for a time, like, and even after things kicked off with StreetPass, like that was when like 3D photography was like really kind of just taking off a lot of people. So yeah, like again, that first month was just me, excessively gaming on it. I was still playing like a lot of my DS games still, a lot of Mario Kart DS, a lot of Zelda, like, of course a lot of Rhythm Heaven as well. And it just fit in right well, like pretty well. Like my DSi, was able to retire pretty well because I got to move over all my DSi wear over to the 3DS as well. So there was really like no need for the DSi anymore. But like 3DS felt like the DSi to me felt like I got like an early look at the 3DS because like a lot of the amenities of that were kind of supercharged on 3DS, and going forward, it even get better with themes and video recording, and of course when the eShop didn't launch like at the time of the 3DS's launch, so we were still waiting for that to kind of come around. So yeah, I guess that's like my early memories of the 3DS, like as it came out like in March 2011.
Oh yeah. What about you, Korshal? What was it like when you got your 3DS, and what did you think of the glasses-free 3D?
So I also was a DSi kid. I remember the DSi and then the 3DS that followed a little bit after that was the time in my life I was finally like able to start purchasing my own consoles for the first time. It'd been like I was just, teeny tiny baby Korshal getting the parents to get the consoles on like holidays and birthdays and stuff like that. And the DSi was the first time I saw something that was like, oh, I do still want this. It can play music, because like I didn't have any way to listen to it otherwise. I was always just a person listening to game soundtracks off of the cartridge in sound test mode anyways.
Yeah.
So like my parents was like, you're old enough, kid. Start working for it yourself. Start buying these things. And I've never needed convincing to buy a Nintendo console. So when they're like, oh, here's the scoop in like Nintendo Power and Friends of the 3DS coming out, I was like, I'm already sold. You tell me it's just like more of what I like, but even more powerful. Even like this 3D gimmick that I was a little like unsure of at first. I was like, oh, maybe it's like kind of in how it works. I was still interested. I still trusted it. Saw the launch library had like barely anything to it. Very like, that's no problem. Showed up on the day that it launched. I walked home with Street Fighter 3D with 3D and Samurai Warriors Chronicles, as I was just starting to really get into the Warriors phase of my life. I've never left. I love my Warriors games, but Samurai Warriors Chronicles was the big reason for that. I'd never owned a proper Warriors game up until that point. I'd rented them on and off from video rental stores, but I never like owned one. And Chronicles was my first time at that. And I remember spending hours grinding a lot of weapons and things. I spent way more time in that than any other like immediate 3DS release for a while, as it took a while for their library to really like warm up. And I remember like that launch concern of the price of the system was a big thing for me. And like I obviously still bought it, but I remember the ambassador system that came out a little while after. Like it was such a big weird talking point of like, wow, the 3DS has no games. It's too expensive. And all right. So this is still part of my early memories with the console. This just came back to my mind, and this is some battle scars on my psyche. The announcement around the 3DS coming out and Capcom being like, you know what we're going to put on this new system? Mega Man Legends 3. Here comes the community project. And then the 3DS started doing really bad, and then we know everything else that started doing at Capcom, and Capcom's like, pull the plug. Actually, it's not happening, guys. JK. And I was like, no. I can't have this happen now. This is what I wanted.
There was also a Saints Row game that got canceled, and also an Assassin's Creed game that got canceled.
Was it Assassin's Creed? What?
It got,
was.
You got robbed.
Yeah.
So there's
and DJ Hero.
I loved using my system a lot, including like, even though I didn't end up using it very long, the cards. Did they just call them AR cards? I'm trying to remember how they.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
AR
they were-
cards.
The AR cards,
Okay,
yeah.
those were great. The it was a
Ooh.
great kind of like thing to fiddle around with. I used the camera a lot, even though the quality was terrible, but it was really fun just to take fuzzy, medium light like photos and see it in 3D. I probably should have
Yeah.
cleaned the lenses a bit more. Maybe I'd have better results, but that was something I really liked. And using the 3D itself, I found myself more drawn to like I've always kind of been like a platforming guy, as I was saying in my intro. And anytime it was almost like a simple layer of the sprite sort of deal and anything like that, I found that really captivating that you almost get like a shadow box style 3D effect. Always my favorite way of doing that. And sometimes too, as much as I loved how the 3D could be pulled off, if it wasn't just like a menu popped to the front of the screen, there were times, like in the case of poor, humble Samurai Warriors Chronicles, where the 3D would just continue to make that game chug. It was trying its best. I don't blame it. But like you just be like, okay, this is a little too much for this. Gotta turn it off. But when it did work, I really enjoyed getting to see it. Probably about medium settings. I never had it full like blast most of the time, but enough where I could like appreciate the differences coming across in some of the games.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Rydia, what was it like when you first got your Nintendo 3DS? And what do you think of the glasses free 3D?
Okay, first off, I want to check and see. Am I the only one that didn't own a DSi?
No.
No, okay.
I guess Korshal and I for the DSi bill here.
Okay. Where trendsetters, trailblazers.
No, I was super jealous. I always wanted a DSi when they were out. I got lucky enough to work at a program where we were showing off DSi the whole summer. Like, I want so cool. But when the 3DS was coming, I was very excited about it because I didn't have a DSi, and this was like the new.
Oh, hang on, cut off a little bit, Rydia.
Yeah, you were cutting off a little bit.
Let's see.
Yeah, you just need to get closer to the mic.
Is that better?
Yeah,
I guess it might be the mic distance. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if I should try and grab a different mic or something.
Yeah.
Let me know.
You're good.
You're good. You're good right now. All right, continue.
Okay. But I was having a lot of health problems at the time. I was mostly stuck in bed a lot of time. So the Nintendo 3DS was great because I couldn't really go out and do a lot of things. And I didn't get to go to a launch event or anything because I was stuck at home. But I played that a lot. I was stuck in bed. But I remember being very stressed out about which game to get with Nintendo 3DS because of the titles. And I saw there were 2 racing games. And I was like, I don't know much about either of these series. I wasn't familiar with Asphalt or Ridge Racer at the time. So I was like, Ridge Racer sounds cool. With that.
Ridge Racer was good. Asphalt was kind of buggy.
Oh, was it? No. So I made the right decision.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun playing that, all the StreetPass games that came out, trying to mess around with the AR cards, which I love to this day. Eventually, I did get a couple of the other launch games when they went on, like Pilot Wing. What was it? The one you were talking about, Steel Diver?
Yeah, Steel Diver was like, I think it was like 3 Nintendo games like were for launch, Pilot Wing, Steel Diver, and Nintendogs. Those cats.
Yeah.
And I think the only one I don't own is the Nintendogs Cats one. Which is strange because I love cats.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
you do love cats.
I love cats. But the system was basically amazing at launch for me because I'm like, this is great. I have access to new games. And since I actually got it on launch, I got those Ambassador games that you were talking about. And I'd never played a Fire Emblem game before. And I was like, this looks like Final Fantasy Tactics. Why don't I try this out? And I was like, this is a great series. How have I never heard of it before? So I was super excited to try a lot of those games. I was excited as they added more fun 3D games.
Right.
And like, excited by even classic games. And
3D classics, yeah.
And I absolutely love 3D. I've been a strong believer in 3D since, I don't know, the 90s. I'm a very fortunate person in that a lot of my friends got together and got me a Virtual Boy for my birthday one year.
Really?
It's so cool. I just remember playing it in Blockbuster as a kid. And I was like, this is amazing. No one else liked it. I love it. And so I was like, oh, we've got a 3D system at home. And like now I have a 3D because I'm such a enthusiast.
Just 3D everything.
Everything should be 3D. It's amazing. So the feature, like when I'm playing, I usually have it at around, I'd say like 80-85%, as that looks best. Me, and I was so excited for the new Nintendo 3DS with the super stable 3DS, because then you could see it at more angles without trying to hold it here and having it fall on your face or something like that. And I feel like over the years there have been so many cool games that have come out, and I'm so grateful for how this has helped connect me with other fun people in the community, like all of you guys.
Yeah.
If you like 3D, it's fun.
Yep.
No, it was really good. Really, really good times.
Absolutely. So, regarding the 3DS and when I got it back at launch day, I missed the launch party that was at Best Buy, which from what I've heard ended up actually being like, it's not a disaster. It's just that it was overwhelming for a lot of people there. So much so that like they decided not to do launch parties there ever again and just pivot back to Nintendo New York or
to the store
or Nintendo World as it was at the time. But aside from that, I went to the store, like Nintendo store, on the day of. It was like, I want to say I got there around like close to 9 o'clock in the morning. There wasn't really a line, mainly because the people went to the launch the night before. So I just figured, I'll just get it. And the thing is that I just got my 3DS and that's it from the store. And then I went to the Toys R Us in Times Square after that. I got the Cobalt Black one. Not the Cobalt Black, it's the Dark Cosmic Black, whatever they called it.
Yeah, it's like, I think Cosmic Black, because Cosmic Black and Aqua Blue.
Yeah. So I got that. Then I went to Toys R Us because they were doing a buy one, get one half off sale on everything. And this also included all 3DS games. So I only got 2 games.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's lucky.
Like, I remember I recognized seeing somebody I have not seen in a long time now, but someone that's an old friend of mine. Sylver, do you remember Hyperflood?
Oh, yeah, Brisbane. Yeah, I remember him.
I saw him and I saw Randy there.
Randy, yeah.
Like,
Brisbane and Randy.
But that was before I met them. I happened to see them because they were there, like doing the same thing that I was doing. Because I bought Samurai Warriors Chronicles and Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition, and I didn't really get into Samurai Warriors Chronicles as much, but I was all in on Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition because I was playing it a lot on my Xbox 360. So naturally, I'm like, oh, so yeah, let's play this game on the go. And aside from the fact that the backgrounds were very static, I had a great time with it. Because on the 360 and PS3 versions, like everything in the backgrounds was moving, but they made it static just because of the 3D effect. But if you turn 3D off, then the game went from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second. And for that game, I turned 3D off, although I didn't use it right from the get-go. But I'll just say this right now. Charge characters like Guile, Balrog, Vega, and all them, like they're like some of the best characters in the game because when you use the touch screen, like you can just repeatedly spam the moves, like the Sonic booms and all that.
Oh yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, the shortcut buttons.
The shortcut buttons. I remember those being like such a point of contention with people.
Yeah. Like I remember seeing like fighting like fighting game player Justin Wong talk about how he played the 3DS version and like it's basically like Mash City on the touchscreen.
Just smash it to win.
Exactly. So, but in terms of the features on the 3DS, like the glasses free 3D, I spent so much time on day one, trying out all the stuff like Face Raiders, doing the AR cards, seeing the 3D pop up from the AR cards, like just putting them all on my bed and then just seeing them pop up like that. That was pretty cool. Like that was a really cool effect, a cool way to check out how glasses free 3D worked. I really wish they would have kept making more of these things, but they kind of stopped after a while. But it was a really awesome idea that you were able to look at these games, all these features in 3D. And like you, Sylver, it took me a while to get a smartphone. When I finally got one, it was like in 2013. But before then, I used my 3DS for everything, to take pictures, listen to music and whatnot. It was pretty much like another all-in-one device until I got my smartphone. But I still carry my 3DS everywhere, collecting StreetPass tags and playing games with people. And it did get me through a lot throughout like the 2010s. So it was definitely something that was comfort. I actually liked the glasses free 3D. I thought it was cool. But then after a while, I had to turn it off because I wanted to make sure not to strain my eyes too much. Ironically enough, a week before the launch, I went to go see an optometrist. And when I did, at the time, they told me that my eyes were really good and I did not need glasses, which ironically enough, look at me now, I'm wearing glasses. So
I was like nowadays.
I thought you always wore glasses. That's crazy.
No.
Nope.
I mean, I would wear sunglasses, but like I'm wearing glasses now because like this year I had to wear glasses because my depth perception is not that great anymore, and sometimes super teeny tiny text does not really work that well for me. But other than that,
I was just say the funny thing, Pete, is like your glasses you need them. Mine are just fashion glasses.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't need glasses to see. These are purely for the fashion.
Both of you are a lie.
I was just doing it for the fashion.
It's all about that
fashion.
fashion.
I don't blame you.
Yes.
I like circle lenses.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. They're over glasses.
Yes. But yeah, that's my experience when I first got my 3DS, and I really did enjoy the glasses free 3D. But the other reason why I didn't use the glasses free 3D as much is because it actually does kill your battery life after a while. It kills it faster. So your best bet is to play your 3DS with glasses free 3D on while you have your charging cable attached to it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with Korshal on this one. Have you used the 3DS for StreetPass Meat Plaza, and how many StreetPass tags do you have?
I absolutely used it. It was like, that's got to be one, to me, in my opinion, one of the best draws of the 3DS was just like the strange patchwork stories into other people's lives you got with their little quirky like messages, or the hats they got to wear in their Miis, or just like their most recently played game they'd have on StreetPass Plaza. That was such an adventure. Like, since I wasn't always around like a really big city, so most of my StreetPass experience is passing, like, say in school, the same several people every day. And when you get to do that the whole time, you, even if you aren't directly talking to them, or say you like don't share classes or anything like that, you begin to get to have this meta narrative through the personalized messages, through repeat encounters with people. So you start setting long running like bits that just build off of each other as you keep on going. And I thought that was really good and really helped me bond actually with several people that I like otherwise didn't immediately have my radar, just because they were like a person I kind of knew, but then you go, oh wait, yeah, they're following on my joke. Like they get it. We have the same sort of like humor. Now we're playing off each other and kind of learning more about each other, even if we don't really get the time to talk, especially like when social media wasn't nearly as rampant as it is in this day and age.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you either talk to them directly or like you didn't really get much of a chance if it wasn't like a shared like class activity or like club or something. And that really opened the bridge to let me like reach out a little bit more, especially since I tend to be a little bit of like a hermit when I get home and I like don't reach out. So that really helped open the doors for me. My total tag count, I feel like, is going to be small compared to my friends here in this podcast. But I did check before we started. It said my total number of tags was 731. So I didn't crack the 4 digits. I did stop doing StreetPass stuff once the Switch came out, and I stopped using the 3DS predominantly as my system. I'm sure if I just went to like any of the conventions that I do with the 3DS in my backpack, I'd probably get more tags. Like you talking about that sort of stuff really made me start thinking to myself, man, I can still make that number go up. Like,
Yeah.
it's not over yet. I can still build upon that. But as of right now, it is 731.
All right. That's fair. All right. Rydia, you're next. Have you used the StreetPass Meet Plaza, and how many tags do you have?
I have definitely used the StreetPass Plaza a lot. I'm sad because my tag number will be off because unfortunately my original 3DS, the black one, I miss you, I'm sorry, disappeared at work one day. But then I got other 3DSs. I can't even find where I put them now.
Oh, is that the Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate one? Oh, and the X and Y one.
And I went to Nintendo New York to get this on launch day. No one else was there to pick this up other than me. It was very sad. But on my main one, I have right now 4,914 tags. And I feel like the number could be much higher if I was better at clearing them out.
Yeah.
I do have expansion to give you more tags, and I feel like it's always almost full.
Oh yeah.
and I I try and work on it, but I want to play through games with all of the people I meet and not just the like
you don't
thing.
You don't just skip over everything.
Yeah.
When you use these guys.
Yeah.
The good way.
I mean, I need them to, get through all these games. I need to 100% all of them before.
Right.
There's a lot in a lot of the StreetPass Plaza games to do. And the thing you were talking about, sending messages back and forth. One of my friends, Adam from Chicago, he said that he was like sending messages back and forth with the StreetPass Plaza with somebody until they could finally figure out who they were in person and meet up.
Oh, that's great.
I'm amazed. I know. I was like, yeah, you made friends through using this. That's so cool. So I love the StreetPass Plaza feature, and you, as you said, you get to see snippets of these people's lives and imagine like. I didn't even know that you could have dogs as helpers, because if you choose cats as helpers in your profile, dogs never show up. But I was watching one of my other friends play their game, and I'm like, why do you have a dog helping you in the StreetPass Plaza game? And if you have dogs, you can have dogs or cats show up. But just seeing like, what people's hobbies are, and you're like, oh, I didn't know you liked this thing. Or whatever it is. It's just such a fun feature that, exists intuitively right when you get the 3D.
Yeah.
I get you.
I continue still using it to this day.
Yep. All right. Sylver, what about you?
Of course, have I used the Meat Plaza? Like, I mean, who hasn't? But at the same time, like, yeah, like this was definitely like one of the bigger draws of the 3DS system. I remember like trying to understand what this StreetPass thing was. I remember first when it was called CrossPass. So I'm like, what the heck's a CrossPass? And then I remember this old like this Japanese teaser trailer that they showed this lady. She was getting up, she's doing her normal like daily routine. She puts her 3DS in her bag, she's walking around. They do a little Nintendo swap. They I think she stops at cafes, a little Nintendo action, and then like she's talking to her friends. And when the guy friends like they get up and walk away, and then another guy passes with Street Fighter, and then the trophy battle like happens with Street Fighter 4, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So it's like basically like wireless communication without really realizing. And it kind of just took off from there. Of course, being in a city like New York, it's a lot easier for us to get StreetPass tags. So, like, for me, the start was definitely, it definitely wasn't anyone in my school. It was definitely, people on the train, because I where I live in the Bronx, like, there's a good amount of people that come in and out to the train stations. Whenever I had a chance to visit the city, obviously there'd be a handful of people here and there. But of course, what really like kicked off, the StreetPass tags for me was definitely, being a part of StreetPass NYC when that kicked off in April 2011. Normally, the best place to go for StreetPass tags would be the Nintendo World Store. They have all the 3DSs there. They have all the people kind of centralizing at Rockefeller for that location. And that was where I really got to like, maximize like my StreetPass tags and being able to meet so many, people. And, honestly, like you see so many names kind of come in and you wonder, like, who's this person, or who's that person. And I'm surprised that you didn't bring this up already, because like the way we met was actually through StreetPass.
Yes, that's
So,
right.
Yep.
I remember this very well. So it was one day we were hanging out near the store, and someone like taps my shoulder, and they're like, "Sylver, is this you?" Because like there's someone named Miz Sylver, and I'm like, "Sylver, do you know this person?" I'm like, "No, like I don't know who this Miz Sylver is." And so I think it was Pete who was like determined to find who this person was.
So we were both signed up for attorney, and we spell Sylver the same way with a Y.
Yeah,
we're both signed up for this attorney with Sylver as our name spelled this way.
Yep.
Right.
We were trying to.
And that's right, because I remember I started going to these tournaments, and then Shellshock gave me a flyer like, "Hey, do you want to like hang out with all of us and play games with still?"
Yeah, there's the QR codes and everything.
Yeah, because I found you because of a mutual friend of ours. Like his name is Carlos. Like he was talking to you, and then I'm like, wait, let me, and I wanted to ask if that was you, and it turns out that was you.
Right, and then it's like they brought you to me, and I'm like, "Hey, Sylver, I found Miz Sylver." I'm like, "Hi, hello, welcome, nice to meet you." In case anyone wondering in chat, like, this is literally like how Verdi and I met. Like, we never knew each other at all until StreetPass was a thing, because it was just so like bewildering. It's like Sylver, Miz Sylver. Like, who is this? Your girlfriend or something? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, dude. Like, like it's one of those like crazy things that happens, and like it's one of those things that just really just like stand up. He's like, that would not have happened without StreetPass, like at all.
Nah.
Like it's funny, like moments like that really kind of stick in my mind. As for like, how many StreetPass tags I have, this is my original 3DS here. Though it's it's seen better days. It's still active, but the battery is still working. According to this, the number is 5,643. I swear it could have been like a lot higher, but like again, like Radio said, like clearing out the street passes, takes time. I'm using the people to like get through Find Me 1 and 2. I was playing a lot of Monster Manor. That was like my go-to street pass game for a while. I was also Puzzle Swap as well. Because like nowadays I'm still building like my army in Warriors Way. Like the Street Pass games were like just so awesome. Like I loved being able to like have people to Street Pass people before the Reddit and just like buying mercenaries or whatever, because they'd have like stock stats, and like it was like a baseline thing. But if you got someone who was like at least like very well versed, for example, if I got someone who had like puzzle pieces I didn't have in Puzzle Swap, instead of like rolling for duplicates, I'd have like the pieces that I knew I would need for that puzzle. So it was always great to kind of have that, have that resource, and with the Free Pass groups kind of growing in prominence over time, because in the beginning it was still very kind of low key for the 3DS, and then like I'd say like really it was like 2013 and onwards where like things kind of just blew up even more, past like the ambassador program in 2012, or 2011, because I remember that very well, because like I remember like I think I was like asleep. And I got up. I think Pete woke me up. It's like Sylver, like he's on the link. Like you won't believe this. And I'm like 3DS now down to 1. I'm like, what? Like at least like they gave us the games. I'm like what? Like do we get anything for it? And then we're like 10 GBA games, 10 NES games. Be happy.
Yeah.
Nah, like like a lot of my 3DS like news cycle was like just talking with the guys online and just discussing all the stuff that we were seeing, like again, like, and then as we share this news, it becomes like a lot more widespread. And of course, as I'm like more on the internet, through forums and stuff, You got like all sorts of like just news here and there. And with StreetPass tags, obviously, people are like always like flexing like their amount of tags. I know Pete would talk about their number because it won them a contest.
Yes.
At the Wii U launch at the store. So I'll let Pete go ahead with that. But that's my StreetPass experience.
Yeah, I will talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But from my experience with the StreetPass Meet Plaza, of course, I have used it. I've taken my 3DS with me everywhere I would go, like Pokemon events, like conventions, whenever there's like an event like within the city, like there were some like events where people like hosted tournaments or like official like events hosted by video game companies. Like I've been to Capcom events. I've been to some events for Sega. I've been to a couple of events like outside of Nintendo, of course.
Yeah.
And funny enough, like I remember just passing by like different stores that I would not really think about video games, like stuff that's just non-gaming related, and yet I was still getting StreetPass tags in those stores because there are people in there that brought their 3DSs with them just to get those tags. You just never know where you're going to get them at or when you're going to get them. But I've met so many people through my 3DS. I've met Sylver, I met Rydia, I've met a lot of other people within the groups over the years. Like I met MMG Mike through a Mario Kart 7 tournament. I've met a couple other people within the StreetPass circle over the years. People that I still talk to this day. People I unfortunately don't talk to anymore because one thing led to another. But other than that, so it like I met a lot of people. But yeah, exactly. And also to infamous Iozo in the chat, like yes, same here with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like I met way too many people, like to the point where I keep maxing out my friends list a lot. And
Oh, that's a problem.
It's
delete people.
It's a good problem. It's a good problem to have. Yes. As far as my 3DS and how many tags I have, let me see if it actually shows. Let me just focus.
Oh, Lord.
28,000.
I know. This is what I get for not clearing it out. 26. What is it? 26,325? 235?
It's 28,265.
Yep.
That's over. Dude. That's like almost 4 times my total.
I would just dwarfs all of ours like easily.
So take in mind he lives in New York City.
Now, yeah, exactly.
I'm in Boston.
You're in Boston.
Now, mind you.
I know we get lots here, but still.
Now, mind you, originally there was a cap of 9,999, but then, like, there was an update back in 2013 when they added those StreetPass games. They increased the cap, which I don't even know what the limit is because I don't think anybody has actually reached it, or at least. Definitely not anybody that I know. I do know people who have more than me, mainly because I knew some people who used to work for Nintendo New York, as well as like different events in general. I've heard that like some of the best places you can go, within like at least with the country of the United States, some of the best places to go is through amusement parks. But the biggest amusement park to get StreetPass tags, from what I've heard, was Disney.
Yeah, Disneyland or Disney
Super
World.
Nintendo World?
Well, Super Nintendo World didn't exist back in the day.
Oh, that's true.
But back in the day, it was Disney. So much so that like apparently I've heard that there were people who were employees that would always bring their 3DS StreetPass tags, and you'll easily get them. And I played the StreetPass games. I pretty much finished most of them. Warrior's Way was weird. Like Farina said in the chat, like I've also seen people with like 9,999. Well, no, 9 million. Yeah, the 9 million.
It shows you like their power.
Yeah, like it's like mine's like I think like 5 million currently, but like I've been taking my time to like max it out because people have it like way up there. So.
I think I might have maxed it out, or I might have been close to maxing it out. But I've also like my favorite of the StreetPass games. I've always enjoyed like like there was that space shooter. There was within the first batch. Me-Force. I like that one.
Yeah. Me-Force was nice.
The Monster Mansion was also pretty good.
Monster Manor was so good. Like I love the gameplay of that one.
I'm not sure if this was a fever dream, but I think there was one that had zombies. Like a
Battleground. Battleground Z.
Yes. Yeah, because
I forgot about that one completely.
It's the zombie game for the 3DS.
There's a lot of new ones where like there's like a stock market game.
Yeah.
I don't. The last one I remember like playing a lot of was the slot car racing one, because like a lot of the newer ones, a lot of the new ones I never did get. I got it later through means because the eShop's closed now. But like, you know, in its heyday, the last one I remember buying was the slot car game, because like I like the idea behind it, and everything else I knew it existed. I know there's fishing, there was zombies, there was stock market
Best
stuff.
One, Flower Town.
There was
I don't know why I'm obsessed with that one.
I
all the
Flower
Town.
Colors.
I have all the flowers, but I need all the colors now.
There was also one called Feed Me where you cook. There's the Ninja Launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Yeah,
Flower Town and Mastermind were like my go-tos. Those are like my Hall of Fame for the StreetPass Me games.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, there were just a couple of games like that. You would also get accessories. You would get like free hats. Like you would get Nintendo themed hats
and like the voice bubbles and everything. And suits.
No, like there were so many Nintendo series that were represented. There's one series I wish was represented from Nintendo, and that's because a certain company within Nintendo doesn't like to play nice every now and then. They know exactly who they are. It's Pokemon. Because I wanted Pokemon hats. Pokemon Company was so stingy, they wouldn't let us have hats. I wanted some Pokemon hats.
Why would you suggest that? Now I want a Pokemon hat, like a little Eevee hat.
Even Rhythm haven't got hats.
Why couldn't
like crazy?
Why couldn't I have a Squirtle hat? I would have had a Squirtle hat and not taken it off.
Yeah, I think I cycled through like mostly Zelda and like Zelda, Mario, and Rhythm Heaven, and also like the console hats that they had.
Yeah,
like,
the console hats.
A lot.
They even added a Switch hat like when the Switch came out too.
They did. Yeah.
A huge missed opportunity from Pokemon, not to have them. Time to mod me Plaza hats. It hasn't happened yet. It probably will. But so I have like more than 28,000 tags over the last couple of years. Because like I said, take it with me. Not as much these days, because I'll say this: the last time I've actually taken my not this 3DS, because this is a capture card I got in 2021. But before that, I had my Majora's Mask, new 3DS XL. I still have it. And I transfer everything over here. But here's the thing. The last time I've taken my 3DS out was actually right before the pandemic. So, yeah, I guess you could say the pandemic killed my streak of getting 3DS StreetPass tags.
So just fear how many you might have had if you still...
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah.
All right, Rydia, what are your favorite Nintendo 3DS memories?
Everything? I don't...
Pick the ones that stood out to you the most. Go ahead.
I know. I thought of this when we were talking about launch day, and I can't believe I completely forgot this. There used to be Nintendo Video where you could watch 3 videos, like there was a really cool Shrek video to Thriller. And
Dinosaur Office.
Cool... You've blown my mind. I forgot about that.
I love Dinosaur Office a lot.
I love Dinosaur Office.
Yep.
All the videos they had were so great. In one of the launch day videos, they used to have lots of Red Bull racing ones where they showed off skateboarding and snowboarding. And they also had some College Humor videos.
They did.
And in one of the launch day videos, I do acting, commercials, TV sometimes. One of my friends was in a launch day video there, and I'm like flying there. I'm like, this is Allison. I'm like, she's inside my 3DS. What is happening here? And I text her like, I'm like, are you in this College Humor commercial? She's like, how are you seeing this commercial? I haven't even seen the commercial yet. Because a lot of times they never send you copies, and you're like, okay, we shot it. I got my paycheck. I'm done. And I'm like, we need to get a 3DS. She does like video games, so I'm like, girl, get you a 3DS. You are inside the system right now. Everyone on launch day is watching this video because you have one game, and these are your only other options. I was like, it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like looking back, a lot of my favorite memories are just like meeting new people. Like the first StreetPass Boston meetup I went to, I remember looking around being like, who are all of these people? I took a picture of them, and now like half that people in that picture I still know to this day.
Yeah.
And the Monster Hunter games came out for 3DS. Like we had some meetups for that, and at conventions like PAX, like some of the other past people up here, they forced me to get Monster Hunter.
Oh my god, yeah.
Thanks, Ryan and Lucario and Rapid. But like we had a whole monster area set up to play the games, and I love seeing pictures for trading with it. And it's just like beanbag areas at PAX were always so fun.
I miss those beanbags.
Yes.
I see those pictures.
Yeah, and sending swap notes. Like I love to send letters and postcards to my family, and now like draw crazy pictures or take weird videos just over the internet.
Swap Note was so good.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
Definitely
good.
Some of my favorite memories there.
Yeah. Like, sorry for just reacting the way I did regarding Swap Note, but
no, it's okay.
That was great.
Because it's just that there's a story about that. But I don't want to get into it yet. Sylver, what are your memories?
All right, God, I'll have to condense my memories because like there's honestly so much. Because like again, the 3DS is the 3DS has been like honestly like the most social content I've ever had. Like straight up, like it's the reason why I was able to kind of really branch out and like meet so many more people in New York. Because like before the 3DS, like I was kind of just like a really big homebody. I'd go to school. I'd come back home and just hang out on the internet. I had internet friends. I knew some people back then, but like that was kind of about it. But like once I got the 3DS, like I was I went to the first StreetPass NYC meetup, and I remember being there early actually, and like I'm like, okay, cool, this is I'll stop at a Best Buy nearby and come back because it was raining that day. I come back and I'm like, there's still nobody there. I'm like, is this thing even gonna happen? And then almost like it was like a call sign. I take out my 3DS, and then like 3 people near me pull out a 3DS as well. Almost like a flat, like, hey, are you here for the meetup? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Like, are you the guy? Because like, the guy who ran the group.
Are you the guy?
I'm like, no, he's not here yet, but I'm here just chilling. I was here just collecting street passes and just hanging out in Union Square, and then like as like rain trickles in a little bit, so we're hiding under the subway awning there, and then like we start showing up. Like I'm like more and more people just like popping in here and there, all sorts of people from different walks of life come in. And then I remember I noticed like a camera crew, and I'm like who's that for? So one thing I love, because like it's still immortalized. Back when Nintendo had Nintendo Week on the Nintendo channel on the Wii, they covered the first StreetPass NYC meetup, and it was of that meetup that we had. We were all there just hanging out and relaxing and enjoying ourselves. No matter like even if the rain was like coming down a little bit, like we were all just there enjoying ourselves. It was good. I was there with an old friend of mine who I actually met from a previous thing, and we were having a pretty good time. Just God, I think I got like so many like tags that day, and then that's passing along like a lot of like flyers, because there are other groups like locally that were also kind of get started as well. Like I was keeping an eye out on like a couple things, because like this like there was one, because in the beginning there were 2 groups. There was one called Meet Me that was in London, and then there was StreetPass DC. And DC is kind of where like the StreetPass network kind of started, because there was DC, there was NYC. I think eventually Boston kind of like came to the fold. Dubai, OC, LA, San Diego. Like there were like all of the groups like popping up like here and there. Like holy crap! Like I still have my StreetPass network T-shirt, though technically the whole thing about the T-shirt is that it's not my T-shirt. It was a T-shirt that we picked out to give to Katsuhiro Harada, because we met him at near Comic-Con, but but we realized, hey, Harada's like really small, and like we have like a large shirt for him, and
It's like a dress.
yeah, like I swapped shirts, like 'cause my shirt was like a medium, and we gave Harada my shirt, and then I got the large shirt, and like I went to like Harada has my shirt, I got to meet him and Daisato, like great, like amazing people, like and that was from New York Comic Con 2011, the only New York Comic Con I've gone to, but like that was like where Skyward Sword was about to come out. They were showing off Mario Kart 7, Mario 3D Land, Sonic Generations. It was like just a whole atmosphere, and I was getting like a lot of like tags around that time too. That was like when things were really kind of picking up for the 3DS.
They were.
They were also like, I think eventually they were pushing Tekken 3D, because like they showed Tekken Blood Vengeance in the theaters there. And I remember watching it for a bit. That's why Daisato was there. And also, yeah, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I got my 3DS. I got my copy of Street Fighter 4 signed by Yoshinori Ono, because they're like, I think like downstairs they were doing like a flag football game. It was Tekken versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Tekken won. The Tekken
sounds
team
like a
won.
fever dream. Okay,
Dude. You want to know what's funny? I actually started a "Don't Be Salty" chat, and then everyone
was like, "Sonny, don't be salty."
Yeah, because I was representing the Capcom side, and the other group was the Namco side.
Yeah, and I remember we're all like rushing to get like our stuff signed, and Ono signed my copy. The good thing about this all too, which is like which is why I'm glad for. This was like when I was like recording video a lot. Like I had my own like camera apparatuses. Like I had a camcorder, still like a mini camcorder. I was like, the first thing I did for StreetPass NYC was recording a lot of the events, the meetups, and that Comic-Con thing is on YouTube. It's unlisted, but like it's in our events playlist. So, but like basically the first thing I did before I became like an admin was like I was there recording the meetups, because for people who weren't there, you could taste like what's going on there. We're all there, playing the games. Here's we're doing like a tournament or whatever, or like a contest or something. Like I can go back to that playlist, and like it's basically like a good like 2-3 years of my life, in video. Mario Kart 7's launch, Skyward Sword coming out, Rhythm, Theater Rhythm, Rhythm Thief. Because I remember we went to the Museum of the Moving Image in Brooklyn, and that was really cool. There's like a lot of like things that we did that was awesome. Of course, for E3, I remember all of that. We were hyping that up. I remember also like when we learned that AR cards could be like massively like huge. We put like an AR card on a cake, which was kind of cool as well.
Oh yeah, the cake. I remember that.
Yeah, the AR cake.
I want to do that.
They gave us like drinks. They call it the Falcon Punch, but it's just really Hawaiian Punch.
It's just Hawaiian Punch. I remember that. Because we did both, like, was it E3? It was 2012 and 2013 that we did. I think 2012 was kind of the one that we did the event for, and then 2013 was like their own thingy.
We did 2011, 2012. 2013 was their own thing.
Was their own thing, yeah. I'm remembering here and there. Like again, I have so many memories. It's crazy, because like it's hard to pick stuff, because like there's like so many things that happen. And the good thing about it is like the stuff that I forget, like it's been recorded, it's been it's been documented, which is good. I also like quickly like looked back a bit, because I remember like when Nintendo like was like showing off all the hours that you like logged into your console, like the activity log.
Yeah.
Like I looked back at it, like so yeah, my most like played games on the 3DS were Smash Bros. 3DS at over 150 hours, Meat Plaza over 150 hours, and of course Mario Kart 7, Animal Crossing New Leaf, and then one thing I forgot that I had over 100 hours was Netflix. I watched a lot of Netflix on my 3DS.
I forgot Netflix was on.
Yeah.
Netfllix, Netflix 3DS was actually what caused me to really be a lot more engaged with anime. Because Funimation, this is before Funimation was on Crunchyroll or whatever. They had all their stuff on Netflix. So Sekirei, Girls Bravo, Baka and Test, like there's like a lot of these like shows that I remember watching, just binging, and I'm like, oh, this is all cool. This is really dope. I watched a lot of shows through there, and it was good. Like I wish that they never seized upon like having like 3D movies through Netflix, but like I felt that was like a huge missed opportunity. But before I was watching on TVs and then eventually on Wii U, Netflix 3DS was actually pretty dang popular for a bit. I know they first had Hulu on 3DS, but I never really was a Hulu person personally. And then I'm trying to remember like one more memory before I pass it along here. Jeez, what I remember very well with the 3DS. Like, I guess the best thing I can remember are the Kid Icarus tournaments that we did at the store. Yeah, Pete remembers. It was me, Pete, and our friend Joel. We were team Don't Look at Me.
Yes, we were team Don't Look at Me. That was our name.
We can come up with a name, and then Joel's like, "Don't look at me," and I think Joel's like, "We're taking that," or was it Sean? He's like, "All right, we're taking that."
Yeah,
and it was great.
Took
like,
that. Yeah.
Every week we're doing tournaments. There was actually like a meta for Kid Icarus, and then like there was like a lot of like just we were really throwing down with this game too. Like the game was like multiplayer was like a lot of people talk about the single player and like how like the voice acting, the multiplayer in that game was dope as hell too. Like definitely like we played like online a lot of nights. We were trash talking a lot. We were like finding out strategies because the more you played the game, the more you could like develop like more tools.
Yes,
more weapons. And then we were sharing weapons as well. We're sharing tech, and like we're bringing that into the tournament to see if we can win. And we did win the tournament like one of the times I believe.
We've won I think twice or 3 times, and like one of the prizes that you get early on was the rare 3 Sacred Treasures card.
AR cards, yes,
yeah. You'll get packs.
It's funny enough. So I think someone approached me about that on social media. Like they wanted to buy the card off me, but I haven't found that card in years because apparently it's really rare now. Because like apparently like a store they gave it away, and I did confirm that I did get that card, but I don't know where it is.
I don't remember what mine is either.
It's in storage somewhere. So if that person's ever watching somewhere, like I don't know, like they're like, hey, they're like a huge collector, and apparently it's one of the more sought after AR cards out there.
It is
kind of crazy. I didn't think I'd have like a real like gem like that, but again, I'll cut myself off here because like there's honestly so many stories that I'm just gonna spill out of me. So I'll pass over to Korshal.
Yes, Korshal, go right ahead. Your memories for 3DS.
I say those are a lot of good ones. I get a little more humble and just like a little smaller scope, but regardless, these are things I really still like when it comes to it. So my 3DS stories I really remember a lot. Partially again because of my location not really being in a big city. They're very this like self kind of like inner kind of stuff. One I remember was actually really funny of like a local story, like local hometown kind of story that I think was just like really evident of the place I grew up in. So I talked about having a black launch 3DS of like the Cosmic Black we were talking about. I played that thing a lot. Like the 3DS was my go-to system really. It was always like with me on the bus to school or whenever I was like in a car ride with my parents or family, constantly being played. So over time, this resulted in the unfortunate incident of the circle pads rubber cracking and breaking apart. It became a little stub of a stick afterwards. And this was right when the red base model 3DS was coming out. Young kid Korshal didn't have the hindsight to go, oh, maybe you can order a replacement like thumb pad. So I went, all right, full blown. It's time for a new 3DS. Not the model, but just a new one for me, And I was like, well, the red one's out, and I really like red. And I had a red OG like big DS before the DS Lite. Like I went from OG red DS, the DSi. I never had a DS Lite. So I was like, yeah, all right. This reminds me of when I got the Mario Kart DS bundle back in the day. As a Christmas present, I'll just get myself a new system and just transfer it over. Of course, like being really young and not in employment, this meant I didn't have the money straight up to buy it. I would have to trade it in the GameStop to buy one. So like in this theoretical world, you don't have your system to transfer over your data to because you've just given it away. but I was recognized by this point of my frequent stops at that particular store by the manager. So when I was talking to him about this scenario, he's just like, look, I know where you live because when you trade in stuff, the laws in your city, you have to fill all this info out. We literally have your address. Also, I trust you anyhow.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take both these systems home and do a system transfer and then just bring me the black one when you're done. Like, I know it will just take you a couple hours and you can drive by this point, so it's fine, kid. Go do it. And I was like, man, you're the coolest. Thanks. And then it was tragic when GameStop began slowly falling apart. But I really remember that story really well. It's just like a nice store interaction that, as much flack as GameStop gets and deserves for its terrible corporate structure, at least the people who worked on the store levels always seem to have like a good heart, and they do just want to like help when mandates aren't forcing them to shove stuff on the people. So the old manager at that particular GameStop way back was a really cool guy, and I'm really appreciative that I have like a funny story of getting a walk, doing a trade-in, but then walking out with their product just to come back later to give it to them. Like, all right, we're good now. Take it. Like, you can have it. You guys know how to fix this thing and it's circle pad. I don't. Thank you.
Yeah.
But another thing I can think about too when it comes about my use of the 3DS is I mentioned a little bit before that it was my like music machine.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. I looked at my play hours and how many times I booted it, because I'd use it, like I'd hook it up to my auxiliary cord when I was driving, when I began my job at the LGS that I'm still at because it's super wonderful and I love it. I would use it while I was doing work. I would just have it like on the desk, headphones connected, listening to it all the time. It says I booted up on my 3DS, the 3DS Music app, a total of 3,192 times. And I am just a couple minutes shy of having 768 hours spent in that app. So I spent a really large amount of time listening to music of that exclusively. But it's very transformative of how I began to view music because of all the different features the music app have. The really important things to me that really made me start digging more into music quality was the fact it had a pitch bending graph that you could speed up, slow down, pitch up, pitch down, and semitones, as I came to find out later, like actual key scales. You'd go up precisely by that. And also, the thing I found the most interesting was the instrumental option in like the music warping features. Because even if I've never been one to listen to instrumental music, I never listened to a lot of like actual bands. I've always been a game music guy. So all my music was just like games and not like pop culture music. But if you found a high enough quality soundtrack of something, if you hit the instrumental, it still filtered out particular instruments. And this was really obvious. And of all things, oddly enough, Sonic Adventure 2's soundtrack has several songs where if you do the instrumental button, it can cut out the guitar and still leave you a really interesting piece. I wound up having a giant appreciation for Pyramid Cave, which is just a banger song in general from that soundtrack. But if you put a instrumental feature on your 3DS on with that song, the guitar is gone. Like the main lead guitar. And you just get to hear all the other back parts. And that blew my mind when I figured out the 3DS could do that. And I was like, wait, all right. So there's all these different building blocks, the music that I can screw around with now because I can speed things up. I can slow it down. I can make the pitch go crazy, up an octave, down an octave. I can occasionally find songs that can just remove a part and let me hear the background pieces I never like heard about before or never spent time to focus on. It brought so much to my mind that it was a really heavy part that kicked me down the music curation path I've done now, because it just spurred my creativity and my curiosity to go like, oh, there's so much work that goes to making game music and music like this. Now I have a better appreciation for what it does, and it lets me just like get more ideas of like, oh yeah, I like songs when it's up a pitch or faster, or it's really interesting to slow it down. So much of that fed into the type of work I do now. So I'm glad I spent almost 1,000 hours in, like, counting the DSi, definitely 1,000 hours with the Nintendo's music app, because it kickstarted my hobby of making music that I do now. And I'm really appreciative. It gave me that chance just by being like a fun, like almost toy like quality to the music app of like, this is your sandbox. This is what you get to do if you want to do it. Figure it out. I was like, wow, yeah, I figured out everything now. Thank you, Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's amazing, honestly. Like again, like that little spark can really kick off like a whole like lifetime of just like activity. Like I've used like the 3DS and DSi sounds to just kind of just goof off of like speed and like adding sounds or like cutting out like lyrics to hear the instrumental as best as it possibly can do. So I get that. But that's amazing.
Like I've actually heard, like I actually listened to some music and just changed the pitch just to see how it sounded, or like just I always enjoyed listening to the music on the 3DS back in the day when 3DS launched, and when I didn't have a smartphone and I just wanted to have everything all in one instead of having multiple devices. But it was still pretty cool. So, favorite 3DS memories. Oh boy, there's a lot. Like I obviously one of the biggest things I could definitely talk about would be like the Kid Icarus events that lasted for 6 months. We would go every week, and I always had a good time going there playing Kid Icarus Uprising. But one of the biggest things that I do remember was like all the events that I was a part of back in the StreetPass and YC days. Like I remember going to the Super Mario 3D Land event and in Times Square.
Oh yeah, the military island pop up.
They had
the trampolines and stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was it was right in front of the Toys R Us in Times Square.
Yeah. Weren't we there? Like I think like the night before, just like trying to promote like a couple things here and there too. I remember.
We were there 2 nights before to promote it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like at the time, like we actually were part of a mutual friend's wedding. And then afterward, and then after that, like we had the thing, we were just there to promote and everything. It was a good time, but like the event itself was a lot of fun. I had fun, like just roaming around. Like we had the Tanuki ears, we had the Tanuki tail. I still have both, mind you.
I don't anymore because they were mistakenly thrown away, and I'm still sad about that. I know.
Yeah.
I had 2 of them too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't realize until like too late because like I wanted to do like a Tanuki Mario for like Halloween, but never came with you.
Yeah, it would have been a nice Halloween costume prop.
It would have been. There's like a lot of like special events that they did.
Like other events, like we've gone to so many different places over the years. I know we've been to okay, so I'm gonna name drop a bunch of different places. Some of which I've been a part of with you, Sylver. Some of which I've been a part of with you, Rydia, and some of them were just me with other people like that I know, and some of you guys might know. But yeah, so we've gone to Governor's Island a few times. I remember we played miniature golf there. We've gone.
Yeah, we did.
We've gone. Let's see what else we've done. We've gone to. There was this one event that I remember where we went to. There was this place in Brooklyn. Next Level Games. Which
yes, so basically like a huge mecca for like your fighting games. We were there for Tekken, I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a Tekken.
We played Crystal Chronicles at a place over there.
Yes, no, it was a place called the Creek in the Cave. We used to go there every now and then. Then they
I had a creek,
but then they stopped allowing people to be a part of that. But apparently that place closed down many years later.
I've heard.
But I remember when we went, we were there for a Final Fantasy event for it was actually Theater Rhythm, not Crystal Chronicles, but it was Theater Rhythm, and you were there too for that, Rydia. I remember that.
Yeah.
There was also an event that we did. Like it's pretty much how we started doing our holiday events. Like in StreetPass and YC, we would do holiday events every year. And that bled into Switch and Play, doing the holiday parties each year, up until like 2 years ago, I want to say. But yeah, but regarding other events that we've hosted, one of my favorites that I remember us hosting, I remember like just having an event where we I'm trying to remember. Like there was this one right.
Did you remember the game?
Oh no, it was not a game specific event, but rather like we were doing a sandcastle contest in Coney Island.
Oh yeah, the first Coney Island meetup we did.
That was like funny enough. That was actually when we started to actually talk a lot more Sylver. Like we were starting to get to know each other more. Like rather the just the group because we were seeing the same people. We were seeing who was coming in like every time.
Right. Again, another great video that's up on the Switch and Play channel still. Because I remember, we had the contest because like I think Jeff did the Bridge of Eldon from like Twilight Princess. I think that was the winner.
Yes.
God, I think I did like because like Portal 2 came out at the same time, so I did like Wheatley from Portal 2.
and what stood out to me about that event as well, in addition to the contest, that was the day where you and I became admins for the first time.
Yeah, that was like kind of where because like also I think that was where we had one of the old like StreetPass like flags. You know, it was the bright white blue one with the old logo before the contest.
Before we had the green logo and everything.
Yeah,
We had because I remember when we had the flag that we would take with us, and then people would see it, and then people say, "Oh, StreetPass," and then they just come in with their greedy S's just to try to get tags from us. Because that
it was just a marker.
that was the point. We wanted to bring people in. You got a 3DS, you're more than welcome to join us. We got games. We can just like collect.
I'm wondering if I still had that flag.
If you do, let me know. I don't know. I actually liked because also
homework is to find it.
Also also guess what? The anniversary of when StreetPass NYC was formed was actually like 3 days ago.
3 days ago. Yeah,
15 years. April 16, 2011, and then now it's 2026, so that's 15 years.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that what I remember as well, like after the Sandcastle contest, we went into the arcades at Coney Island. I remember playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and then there was this one guy that just happened to come in, and I could tell that he smelled like he was smoking a lot of weed because I could definitely smell it. And and after that, like he picked I know it was he picked Magneto, Storm, and I don't remember if it was Psylocke or Sentinel, but one of them, and he completely destroyed me.
Wow.
Like, and I was like to the guys, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah.
So we could
I knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like he was like what the floor of you.
Yes. And I believe that we did use that flag in Animal Crossing New Leaf back in the day. I don't remember it was. I don't think it was me. It probably might have been Jordan, but I'm sure that the flag was used by someone in the group. It might have been Jordan or anybody else.
Right.
But,
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, because I do remember that event very well. I also remember there was an event that we did. I don't remember the name of this restaurant. It was like a fancy restaurant. It was like December 2012. We were all dressed up and everything.
Was that the holiday party one year?
No, it was. I believe it was before it. But the thing is that you, both of you were there. Like we were dressed up.
It was more of a get together, if I remember correctly, than like a full-on event. But like I remember it, but I don't remember the hotel. I don't remember the restaurant name.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else we've done. Like we've actually have done a Red Cross event. You were not there, Sylver. You were still in Vermont at the time.
Yeah, I was in college.
But like we did an event for like the Red Cross, and Joel donated blood for the event.
Right.
Because we also had the Wii U set up, playing Nintendo Land and a couple other games. We also what else we did? Other events that I remember. There were some events that I did not get to go to. Like there was a Kirby Triple Deluxe event that I didn't get to go to because I was actually busy that day. But I do remember going to Like I'm trying to remember like what other events.
Because there really are a lot that we did. Like obviously, like we went to Creek for theaterism. Again, the museum image for Rhythm Thief, the Zelda Symphony.
There's
Dream
the
Distance.
Chibi Robo one.
There was a Chibi
at that
Robo.
museum.
Yes.
There was a Chibi Robo.
One
wasn't
where
there?
we went to Edgar Allan Poe's house.
I do remember Edgar
that-
Allan Poe's house.
Was that for like Halloween?
No, Edgar Allan Poe's house was
No,
actually
it was
it was September that year, 2013. You were in Vermont.
I do remember like when Bravely Default came out, like Make Cafe NYC was still a thing.
Oh my god, yeah, for Bravely Default. I do remember that. Yeah. Like you could barely even get in. Like
Yeah, no, the place was jam packed with like a lot of people.
there was so many people there, like because they wanted to get the Bravely Default AR cards. I also remember another event. Here's one. So this is how Sylver and I met MMG Mike. We were hosting a Mario Kart 7 tournament on launch day. He showed up and I don't remember who it was. It might have been Triforce who was with us every now and then.
It was Triforce. It was Triforce because he was up against like organized the tournament.
He decided that we were not going to use items, and that's
and using standard cards, I believe.
yeah.
Which was an interesting which was an interesting wrinkle.
Yes. Also, for the record, never host a Mario Kart event without items. It's especially a Mario Kart tournament.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. So
it does not work.
So what happened is that Mike won the whole tournament because we had trophies. Our buddy Sam came in third. He used to be an admin for us as well. I forgot who came in second, but it was a tough tournament.
Second, I believe I can remember who came second. He's come to our events back then. Like I remember he won the Star Fox tournament we did like beforehand.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dude, the black kid with the glasses. I remember because remember when we kind of did these little mini interviews with Jordan, and he'd interview like all the winners and stuff like that. Like I remember like a little bit of that stuff here and there.
Yeah, but yeah, we're never doing Mario Kart tournaments or events without items ever again. Like
it just does not work.
Lesson learned. Yeah, I don't remember if they had mushrooms only in that. I think they did, but I forgot because it's been. What happened?
I was gonna say, do you remember the Kid Icarus event that happened at the GameStop?
Oh yes, I do remember that vividly. Yes, because I remember like there were a bunch of Nintendo reps there.
I think that was the first time where like I met Krista actually.
Oh yeah, Krista was there. Yeah, Krista was there.
She was there because because like they were doing like a national tournament, and obviously the last stop was in New York, and the guy who won the tournament was actually a well-known Smash player, the Buzz.
Yeah, the Buzz. He won the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've met Krista a few times. I've never met Kit.
I met them at E3. They were nice.
I was hoping to meet them last year at PAX. They weren't there this year, but I was hoping to meet them last year. But
yeah.
And there was one moment where like we were close by. We just let them do their thing because that's just how it is. They're at the con. They just want to have fun. Let them do their thing. But aside from that, I've taken my 3DS pretty much everywhere. Like I've taken it to like Pokemon events. Like I remember 2011, I went to a national championships in Indianapolis because they had both the TCG and the VGC national championships. They would do it like every year in different states. That year they happened to do it at Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah, they would do that.
And I remember like before that there was like a VGC qualifier at in Secaucus, New Jersey at the Meadowlands, and I was there volunteering. And I remember seeing a lot of people there. Like I've seen some people from StreetPass there back in the day, and there were some people like that I've seen as well, like from all over. And we were getting tags all over the place. Like I was checking my StreetPass tags while doing my volunteer work, and I remember like they also had the displays where you can scan the QR codes. Because back then we had Pokedex 3D, like because there's two versions of it. There's the vanilla version that only had all the Unova region Pokemon, and then there was an expanded version that has all of them, including the Unova, like from Kanto to Unova. And and they were just giving out like random free codes that you could scan, and it's a random Pokemon that you could just scan for Pokedex 3D. They were pretty much just hyping up the tournament because at the time it was Pokemon Black and White, because that was for that season for the VGCs, like the big tournaments you needed to play Pokemon Black and White, and it was awesome. Like I've taken my 3DS pretty much everywhere you could think of. Even took it to my first wrestling event. It was at a show at Chikara.
Yeah. I think I took mine to Monday Night Raw like one time.
which the main event for that was Fire Ant versus Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, or Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
Orange Cassidy.
And I'd take it by 3DS just anywhere you could possibly think of back in those days. Like I even had days where I just wanted to go out and just bring my 3DS, and I would like in the city. You're just gonna get a decent amount of StreetPass tags back then. Like rural. If you live in a rural area, then like getting all these StreetPass tags was not gonna cut it. But if you live if you live in a city, then it's going to be a lot better. But even better when you go to conventions. And I still remember when my first PAX is 2014, and just going to the handheld lounge was amazing. Like handheld lounge does not hit me as much because you need the beanbag chairs. But the main reason why they took out the beanbag chairs was because of COVID.
Yeah, I believe that was the reasoning.
Yeah. And one more memory I want to bring up regarding my 3DS was how it actually was like the reason that we met, Sylver. It's a very important one. It's the reason that
because like there was a second StreetPass NYC meetup, because since it rained on the first day, and not a lot of people really came up to that one. So you came for the rain date, which was outside. Was it the Borders?
Yes. And that Borders closed months later.
Did those even exist anymore?
Yeah, back when Borders was like a thing.
Yeah.
It was outside Madison Square Garden, and then like I think we were in there for a bit, and then they kicked us out.
They kicked us out, like even though the managers allowed us to be there, but the security did not get the memo, but they still insisted that we left.
Yeah.
So we
walked to the store, I believe.
We did. And we walked to the store, and then we because at the time Nintendo New York was doing a weekly event, Friday Night Fights, where at the time it was just Super Street Fighter 4, and we were just getting, there was more people there, and I remember that was actually where I met like two friends of ours that for the first time, Jennifer and Mark. Yeah, like they were there. We told them about the group. They started joining us for events. There were other people there too. I remember there were people there that I've seen once and I've never seen again. Like there was this one guy that I remember seeing at the event that I've only ever seen once, but I talked to him online for a few years. Do you remember someone named Tony Ness?
Yeah, so funny enough, the first person who I met at the StreetPass NYC meetup, the first one was Tony Ness, actually.
Yeah.
he's a cool, so Tony Ness is like this rapper, he's like kind of like nerdcore-ish, because he did like a lot of like game-themed raps. I checked his SoundCloud like a long time ago. I've lost contact with him for like a long time. Like he's a cool dude. Yeah. Like super duper cool dude.
I do remember that. I do remember him. Like there's just so many people that I do remember from those times. But yeah, like, because that's how we met. And the one thing that I always remember was that you told me that when you recorded the 25th anniversary Mario event, and apparently was right in front of you, and we didn't meet at the time.
Yeah, like it was crazy. This is September 2010. This is 25th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. Reggie's about to bring out Miyamoto to do a surprise, and then like literally right in front of me is Peter, just like with the bullet bill hat. Yeah. I don't know who this person is because I wacky went there with with Super Transition H and Pete Dore. You know, I was like there with them, and and like noticing you in the video was crazy. I'm like, huh, it's crazy. Like only like another like what, 6 months, and then we get to like know each other actually.
Exactly.
Because like a lot of people like to kind of just cross paths at the store. If you were like a Nintendo fan in the city, you know, there was like a lot of there's again a lot of crossover. Like the people who I would see constantly at certain Nintendo themed events. It was that. It was, you know, I don't remember Pete, like Tension no Eye was was a small maid cafe.
I do
You know,
remember Tension no Eye.
Yeah, the Pokemon picnic, Poke Piku, which I still have. Like, I feel again we have like old videos of that. That was the first time I met Elvis.
Yeah. Yes.
And then we had like a lot of people within. I think that was the first time I met Elvis. It was the first time I met Stardust Meg, amazing cosplayer.
Yep.
And a lot of other people as well, like in the Pokemon community, and it was just like really insane, just like how all this stuff just kind of crosses over. You see these faces that are so familiar. And like, yeah, I think I've met. Like, there's a chance like if you had like been around there, we would have met you like earlier. Honestly, like because we were there like all the time. Like every Friday, you know, after school, I'd hop on a D train, head down to Rockefeller, and just hang out like in my uniform with the guys and just chill for like a handful of hours, and then get home before like midnight. Because we're all just hanging out in Rockefeller when they had the seats and everything.
Yeah.
It was Prime Central. Like we go there, we get our tags, we talk to the staff because like they still they liked us, you know, coming in and patronizing them. We pick up a game if we were pick up a game or whatever, or just hanging out for a bit. And then we go to the store, we go grab halal food or whatever, and just chill.
Oh yeah.
That was a cycle for like a long time. And then like if there are events happening, we'd go up there and go support them. You know, I remember like when the guys got me Fire Emblem Awakening actually because there was a Fire Emblem event that happened every time. I think during Awakening's like a release.
They did. Because that year they were doing Fire Emblem events in the winter, and then like in the summer they were doing Animal Crossing New Leaf events.
Yeah, and Animal Crossing was dope. Like I made something like shirts. I won an alarm clock.
You did
for a contest, and I think that I'm not sure if they did eventually did like Tomodachi Life as well.
They did.
Yeah.
Like
they did do like stuff.
They had like people like sit down at a podium like pretending like to be a part of Me News.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did do that. And like they would just give you like random like stuff as like props as like prizes for whatever. Just
I got maracas. I had maracas.
I got a random book. But yeah, I do remember they were pushing different events. They've had just the launch events that they've hosted.
Yeah, they had all the good events back then, man. Like just top tier stuff.
There was one event. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like I should have mentioned a couple of the events that we did with StreetPass Boston.
Yeah.
Like thinking back, like you guys said you did a beach event.
Yeah.
Where we used to go to the Sand Sculpture Festival in Revere Beach every year together. And one year, I think it was the first year, the whole reason it started was because of Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
Coming out with all of their games, and there was a pop-up for Disney Infinity on the beach. I don't know how people's game systems didn't get ruined.
Oh my goodness.
And then I was playing Animal Crossing on the beach, and I went to go get my fortune told from Katrina. She's like, maybe you should go outside and play on the beach. And I'm like, I'm on the beach right now. Why are you saying this to me?
That's pretty funny.
One of our awesome members brought like Splatoon branded like water guns that came out, and we were playing like water guns on the beach, things like that. People brought food for those as well.
Yeah, the
dogs, and we're just so fun.
No, it was good. Just
we buried people in the sand to make them into Splatoon squids.
Yep.
I remember that actually. I think I remember some pictures coming out from that at least.
Yep.
Yes, the mermaids made of shells on people.
Yeah.
We used to have events like we'd come up with like arcades or other groups. Like we did a round one music rhythm meetup. Some people brought their 3DSs, and there must have been like over 100 people there at the event. There was DDR tourneys as well going on.
Oh, DDR.
It was so great to see so many people like enthusiastic about all these
Oh yeah.
Fighting game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I miss all these.
Me too.
No, like it's all good memories, really. Just like when you realize, again, like all that stuff.
Also, I kind of feel like that if we would have known you back in those days, Korshal, and you were with us, you would have had a great time as well.
Yeah, I was hearing about all these meetings, like, man, that would have been great for me to be a part of. It's cool you guys had so many opportunities to be able to do something like that. And it's nice to be able to get a better firsthand account of those type of meetups that happened and all the friendships you got to forge about it.
Yes.
With I definitely consider myself having forged stronger friendships because of the 3DS StreetPass and everything. But to have those full-blown game meetup opportunities are really cool to listen about. I've been having a great time just getting to hear of all the stuff I could have had I been in a different environment.
True.
Or if you made your own like StreetPass group, because there were a lot that were plentiful.
Yes.
And even after the network kind of shut down, because it was more of an informal thing. They eventually turned over the network domain to Nintendo because copyright issues. But so all groups kind of individual doing their own thing. But there was a lot of groups that were still doing a lot of stuff. Boston, San Diego, OC, Dubai. I think there was still groups in England as well. It was a worldwide thing, which is great because I'd be able to kind of check into I used to manage the StreetPass network subreddit on Reddit, and I would go around on Facebook or whatever and see what groups are doing things, and I'd be detailing okay, this event's happening here, in Dallas or whatever, go here at this time, and there's a lot of activities going on. It was crazy just seeing the amount of activity that people were just pumping out for StreetPass specifically, and it's still ongoing today. I know the subreddit is still going on because people are swapping friend codes. I know NetPass is a thing because people found ways to do StreetPasses through the internet, which is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel the StreetPass relay technology, it really builds off of just that simple thing of oh, here's StreetPass, here's the 3DS, here's here's that stuff, go, and then it just branches off from there. It's how we're really talking less about StreetPass now. It's all about our experiences, these events, the people that we've met, all that stuff. It's a lot of that communication. And again, without the 3DS, I don't think I have any of that at all.
Same.
which is nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed that it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
At Emerald City Comic Con, I ran a StreetPass meetup, and there was a lot of people who showed up for it, and this meetup was on a Thursday, so it's the first day of the con when no one's there. And there was a number of young children as well that were 6, 7, 8 years old. So I'm maybe StreetPass will continue into the future. We'll see.
Yeah, it's still popular. I think that's a good thing about it too. Is people have, it's been basically one of the most requested features still for I was crossing my fingers that the Switch 2 would bring back StreetPass somehow, because I'm there's still a lot of untapped potential. I know they want to keep the hybrid home console and handheld, and some people maybe don't want to bring it away. But man, I look back and I'm Nintendo, at first people were this thing would never work outside of Japan. This isn't gonna do anything at all. But then later on, it's whenever people bring up 3DS, StreetPass is always brought up as a talking point. It's you can't have 3DS without StreetPass, really.
Yeah. So now let's move on to the next thing, because we could go on and on with stories all night, but we have
all night long.
But we have more things to talk about. So, so what are some of your favorite 3DS games of all time? And let's limit it to 5 for time purposes. So, Sylver, we'll go with you.
Sure. I think my 5 has been ever present. I was going in from five down to 1. Number 5 will obviously be Street Pass Me Plaza. I've played a lot of the B Plaza games endlessly. Again, like I said, Monster Manor and Puzzle Swap. Those my top games, as well as Warriors Way. Really loved playing those games a ton. Just amazing stuff. Number 4, Animal Crossing New Leaf. This is when I really was getting into Animal Crossing heavily. My first Animal Crossing was Wild World on the DS, and I really enjoyed that. But I never got to have the multiplayer feature because I never knew anybody else who had Animal Crossing. So it was just me solo in my town, and I never got to do any of the online stuff. But come New Leaf, I'm online. I'm online like 1 a.m. with people on an island like fishing for sharks, or I'm on Tortoise Island, doing all the mini games, and I'm just having a blast. Like I remember that summer, like Animal Crossing came out, I was like just glued in. But funny enough, my number 3 game was the game that kind of got me out of playing Animal Crossing, and that is actually the original SteamWorld Dig.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I loved SteamWorld Dig so much. Like that game like came out of nowhere for me, and then like when it came out, like I was like, Animal Crossing who? Like I remember like just enjoying the series so much, and I've gotten other games of the series, Heist, Dig 2, Quest, and all others, but Dig's always been like my favorite. Like I think I played Dig 2 on Switch 1. We did an event for that like a long time ago for Switch and Play. Um, great series, and I'm always down to see like more of the SteamWorld stuff. Number 2 is Super Mario 3D Land. Great game. Well, I'd say it's more of a tie if I'm honest. It's between Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart 7, because those are like a lot of my mostly Mario games. 3D Land was one of the first few games I remember in a recent memory that I completely 100%ed. All gold flags, both as Mario and Luigi. You know, I went the whole line mile, Champions Road and everything. Like I destroyed that game. Mario Kart 7, like I know, like I'm more of a Mario Kart DS enjoyer. 7 was kind of like there in a good time. I wasn't really a big fan of Mario Kart Wii personally, but 7 was decent. I liked playing online with friends. I loved the new features of going underwater and like flying with the glider. Though I feel like Mario Kart 8 definitely like superseded it like so much. Like it's still one of those games that kind of like sticks around in my brain. And then number 1, of course, has to be Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yes.
Like phenomenal
So
story.
good.
Phenomenal story, great. I know the controls were a point of contention, but I toughed it out. Like my hand didn't cramp too much, but I got a bigger stylus for it. I remember. I was collecting the AR cards from primarily again, and I talked about the multiplayer for at Nintendo World when we were like playing multiplayer. We had like a pseudo competitive scene for a bit, which was awesome. And man, I think also like before they shut down Wi-Fi connection, before they shut down the network on 3DS, it was like one of the last games I remember playing on the 3DS online actually before they shut down the services. So yeah, if they were getting back working with like on Pretendo, like I'd love to hop back on again. But like one of these days, I want to like organize like another like a tournament, because like I was like again so engrossed with that game. I remember hosting an online tournament for that like way long ago, and it was so successful. But I never really went on from there, because it's a lot of like moving parts here and there, and I've been begging for like an Uprising sequel or port on the Switch or Switch 2.
Port. Where's the port?
Yes, me
and
too.
and I've been like, just like if there's any game that deserves it, like God, it's that. But we have to wait like another couple more years. They do like another 25-year skip from 2012,
No, when is that?
and like another like 12 years, I think.
Oh God.
I don't think I can wait that long. I think that I think it could be happening, but you never know. You never know.
You never
that's
know.
just the problem. But that's my top 5 basically.
All right. Now, what about you, Korshal?
All right. I don't have a like fit the first kind of list, but at least like I had to think about this leading to the start of the podcast, because there's a lot of good contenders. I will first off join the Uprising gang. That game is so silly. I love Nintendo doing odd experimental like things, and Uprising is full of that. I too never really had a problem with the controls, because when I played it was largely on my red OG 3DS, so I never had like the XL or anything that like the system would have been really cumbersome to hold in my hands. So I never had a problem with that part personally, but I really love the game's completely wacky story. Like the story of that game is easily my favorite part of like it's extremely nonsensical and rather all over the map at different points. But at the same time, it feels very like connected, and it does just enough with its world building that they intentionally like leave some things kind of vague. And you're just like, I want to know more. Why are we just leaving this here? You like left all this world building of like a really interesting take on the Kid Icarus like pantheon and everything, and we've just left it to collect dust. I'm like, why? The soundtrack was banger, the characters are good, the voice acting was very funny. There's so much that could have been there, and they've just left it right now. Like you said, we never know. I can hope. My fingers are crossed every day. Beyond that, Kirby Planet Robobot is one of my favorites on the system. Honestly, in terms of Kirby platformers, and not as many spin-offs, because Air Ride and Riders sits a little higher in my heart. In terms of Kirby platformers, Robobot is probably my favorite Kirby game, and they're all pretty dang good.
They're all good. But like, Robobot's great.
I've always been a sci-fi guy at heart. I don't know if anyone can figure that out by looking at me, but the robotics and science fiction angle of it was something I always liked. I really like, honestly, the characters of Haltman and Susie. I think like there's a lot of like, people know this if you're a Kirby series, so I won't go too long about it, but like essentially every Kirby game is like, here's our bad guy like set of scrimlows. By the way, if you get into the extra modes and harder levels, find out a lot of probably depressing lore about them. And for the dynamic of Susie, I really liked how that particular story works out, because it's always like a lot of like boss text, like pause screen flavor text that really helps go like, oh, okay, that's the deal with these people. And I really like Susie. She's probably my favorite non-core Kirby character. Like if we go past Kirby, Meta Knight, DDD, Waddle Dee, if we go, all right, who's your favorite beyond that? Susie's my top. And she also is very pink. So like her design's adorable. I heckin' love her. Next one, if we're talking about goofy stories, which has a pattern, I really like Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. It's nice. My favorite Kingdom Hearts out of all of them, because it does the one thing I like the most about Kingdom Hearts, in that it's a lot of non-stop action. The worlds are very short compared to the other Kingdom Hearts, and it's almost constantly throwing boss fights at you. This game is like, you want big fights all the time, constantly, bam, 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 bam. Boss fights out the wazoo when it comes to Dream Drop Distance.
I'll say if I remember quick, like at the store, like one of the biggest like third party launches at the store was like Kingdom Hearts.
It was.
Like, it was a huge line, like around the block and past. Like, oh my god, there were so many people who dressed up as like Organization 13 members, and it was insane.
I couldn't even get in.
I know they had the special Kingdom Hearts 3DS that came out as well, or a case. It was something or another like that, where they had like the Kingdom Hearts pattern for it. But I love that game a lot. It also happens to be roughly when the plot in that game, I'm not going to spoil or attempt to explain it, but basically the plot really starts to jump the shark.
I don't know.
At Kingdom Hearts 3D. It's when it starts getting really nonsensical in the best way. I really love the plot twists that game introduces. So that one's really good. All right, fourth one, keeping along. I played the heck out of Tales of the Abyss 3D.
That was a good one.
When it came out, that was my way to experience the game, because I didn't really own any PlayStation systems until the PS4.
Yeah.
So I missed out on his PS2 version. So when the 3DS port of it came around, that was my chance to finally get to play it. And I played through that game like, it's like 4 runs. I think it says I have about 110 hours total across my playthroughs, because I really dig in the Tales games when I get to do the new game pluses, and they do like the super boss stuff, and you get to grind out like the special weapons and all the boosts, yada yada. So another really solid entry that I like is very close to Vesperia in terms of its quality, and it holds up still. I think it's still a very fun playthrough. And then my last one too, wouldn't necessarily call it my very like top, but the one I spent a lot with was Fire Emblem Fates. The narrative obviously has several problems. I won't deny this, but the gameplay systems is really good. It's what turned me around and like made me realize how much like nitty gritty stat min-maxing there can be in the Fire Emblem games if you're on a game that lets you just grind for skills and equipment and stuff. You can go deep. And the Fire Emblem like multiplayer, like the 1v1, take like a team comp and like play against your friends on a map. what's really interesting and also sometimes horrific if everyone went into I'm trying to remember the exact class, but it's something akin to like a puppet master where you got to learn a skill that duplicated your character. So then you're like, oh, you're only supposed to have like 7 to 8 characters, and then everyone knows the duplicate skill, so your squad's actually like 16, and your opponent's just like, oh no, now this looks terrible. So I really like Fates' gameplay. Yes, thank you, Lola. You know exactly what I mean. The Speed Queen Soleil, my beloved, my waifu of choice out of that game. I love Soleil. And doing that was a lot of fun. Didn't make the list. One last really quick shout out though. I do like 3D Land for a lot of personal reasons. Helped me establish a very strong rapport with somebody very close to me in my life now. And it was one of 2 games that was really an icebreaker back in the day. So even though gameplay reasons I like the ones I listed a bit more, 3D Land is still very close to the heart as well.
All right. That's awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, what's your 5 favorite 3DS games, Rydia?
Keep changing my list over here, and I've been changing it all day. This is so stressful.
Hey, no, there's a lot of good games
between their children. All right. So, sadly, Kingdom Hearts did not make the list, though. I used the case that came with the special edition as a case for my 3DS. It's gorgeous.
You might want to get a little closer to the mic real quick.
Closer. But I think Theater Rhythm is definitely on my top 5 because it's a music game, and this specific version of it is a great version. It worked great with the touch screen and the styluses, and it had a fun just single player mode, and you could unlock so many different songs. Then you like use the 3DS as a music player again.
Yeah.
And just listen to all the songs from the different series, and as you progress through the game, you could, actually play against other people. And I think the PvP in this version is better than the sequel to it. And it was definitely fun to, battle against each other.
I remember once in like a theater from like Kingdom Hearts, because like I know they did Dragon Quest Theater Rhythm, but they never did a Kingdom Hearts. I know Kingdom Hearts had its own rhythm game later on, but Theater Rhythm was a good series, like phenomenal series.
Yeah.
And they added so many good songs. I'm trying to remember which ones. Like they added so many series afterwards that you could get as DLCs.
Yeah, I remember. I remember playing like a Nier song in one of them. Like I think it was like in the arcade version, because there was one in the arcade at PAX. I remember they brought the arcade version there, and I remember Nier was there. I think Nier, obviously FF14. Yeah. I remember.
I feel like Chrono Cross might have been on there.
Chrono Cross, the world ends with you.
The world ends with you.
The world ends with you.
That's a potential like one that for sure.
Yeah, but all the little character designs were so cute. Animations were great. And now limiting it from here is very stressful and difficult. I think 3D Land definitely pops up for me too. Like when I first think of the Nintendo 3DS, 3D Land just pops into my head because it's, the flagship Mario game. I also 100%ed it, suffering through that last level.
Champions Road. It does that to you.
Yep.
And I was like, I want to make it through without a power-up as well, just to make sure that, I know what I'm doing. And that was another torturous part of that level. But
my goodness.
I think, the designs of all the levels on that were so fun. Puzzles were... And then I think probably one of my next favorites was Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still remember launch night when one of my friends, Big K, and I went to our local GameStop to get, them immediately ripping them open and battling with each other. And that's right, because Pac-Man got added. I was so excited to play as Pac-Man, and then realized I was trash with Pac-Man immediately.
Yeah.
Bench the character. But someone was saying that you also broke your little circle pad on your 3DS.
Yeah, that was the game that broke my circle pad.
We used to have little mini tourneys at our meetups and things, and I smashed so hard. I do that thing.
Not mine.
I was doing a lot of like dash dancing and stuff, and then I heard like a little click. I'm like, oh, that didn't sound good. Thankfully, it didn't break. The rubber came off, and I'm like, yeah, but I do like the feel of it without it, but like, it's just like odd. I'll get replaced eventually if I feel like it.
Eventually, functions kind of. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was very grateful when they came out with the Circle Pad Pro.
Yeah,
that great addition, so you could get the actual extra full.
Yeah, because like that was like for Monster Hunter, right? If I remember correctly. I remember for the longest while, a lot of people were like mad that it wasn't used for Kid Icarus until like years later, Sakurai said, "Hey, the reason why we couldn't use it for that is because it would like it would cut the frame rate in half to like 30 FPS because it needed more power to make it work." And I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But a lot of people were like, why don't you use it for this? Like, you use it for like your solid, you use it for this, you use it for that. Because everyone was like, second analog stick. The Vita has a second analog stick. Why do you have this one, Nintendo?
The Vita also has way less battery power. So.
A lot less battery power.
What's worse?
Oh man!
But it is gorgeous. Oh, they're so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my number one game, like some of us also agree, was definitely Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yep.
And I remember going to pick the game up, and I used to go to our local GameStop here in Boston to, get an AR card every week, build up my collection. Thought I was showing you guys my AR cards earlier. It only had the regular ones, the Kid Icarus ones I left upstairs. But just, the tourneys where we used to play together all the time.
Yep.
So fun. And like you were saying, the story is absolutely hilarious.
Phenomenal story.
Original NES game. I absolutely love the original NES game, and I love what they did with the character designs for like Medusa and Pena and all the new fun characters like Dora and all the. I mean,
Hades like will always be like.
Oh, Hades, yes.
Hades, yes.
Hades is
so
great.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
So great.
That's my favorite version of Hades. Even better than I personally like this Hades more than the Hades from Hades.
In the Hades from Supergiant's Hades.
Yeah.
He's so catty and just like always like loves to like just like talk little insults and this great. And then like Viridi's like just
Viridi, awesome. Oh my gosh, Viridi.
She's such a brat, but I love her.
I know. You're like, I know you. I know this person in real life. I know you. But all the voice acting was stellar, and
That's
animations, and they had those side by side videos that you could watch.
Oh yeah,
video.
The small
see more of them, like her revolting dinner.
That one was great because she was trying to cook Pit like a meal, and then she tried.
She cannot cook.
It's not that she can't cook. She brought the vegetables to life, and then they kind of like revolted against her.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like we're ordering takeout tonight.
I just posted in the podcast guest room like, what if there was a death battle with like 6 different Hades? Like there's the one from God of War, there's the Kid Icarus one, there's the one from Hades, there's the one from Hercules. I see the one from there's one from Saint Seiya, and the other one's from Record of Ragnarok.
I see
and what about Xena?
Oh yeah, there is one from Xena. Like you could just put just do a death battle of like every single Hades that you could think of, like,
that's a great idea.
In a battle royale to the death to see just which one is the best one. And spoiler alert, it has to be the one from Kid Icarus Uprising.
I'll go with that.
It better be.
Yeah,
support that.
And if it's not that, it's going to be the one from Supergiant. But the one that'll be the first to go is the God of War one, because that one kind of looks tacky. Yeah. But that's all your games, Rydia?
I mean, all right. Also, I don't know how to speed this on there, but Mario Kart 7, because I feel like Mario Kart Wii didn't click as well with me, and this version I used to just play forever and ever, especially the online. I feel like I got a hot spot at my apartment that had terrible internet just to play Mario Kart 7 online and Animal Crossing. And it's, with having download play, you could also, play with anyone, even if they didn't have the game. Well,
download play is always always essential.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just such.
Oh God, the McDonald's Wi-Fi.
McDonald's Wi-Fi. Why would you remind us of that?
It's funny because like that started with like, the DS first, and then it kind of escalated into the 3DS era.
It did.
'Cause, like they had like the Nintendo Zone. I remember that was like a thing.
Yeah, hence the fact that I have the emote with the W instead of the M, like for McDonald's. It says Wi-Fi Warrior.
Wi-Fi Warrior.
Because that's what you are. If you swear by Wi-Fi on DS or like console, you are a Wi-Fi warrior. That's what you are.
Trying to trade items like in Animal Crossing over McDonald's Wi-Fi is so stressful. Like, what if something goes wrong and it erases your items? And
yeah, it takes forever. And like, oh my god.
Let's see.
It's insane.
All right. So let's go with mine. So my top 5 like favorite games on the 3DS. It's a big list of games, but in terms of like the ones I picked, number 5 is Fire Emblem Awakening, because it's the game that single-handedly saved the franchise from like being put to dormancy. I really enjoyed this one. It's the Fire Emblem I put like, I'd say, the most time into. The only other one that came close was Three Houses, and even then, that was just with one of the runs that I did. I didn't finish the rest of the runs. So, but I spent a lot of time with Fire Emblem Awakening. It's one of my favorites in the series. They did make a lot of quality of life changes for the better. Also added a lot of romantic relationships between the two characters and whatnot. But my favorite experience with it is how like you're able to like recruit pretty much every single character, and how you can be able to have like different characters that have children and whatnot, and you see those children. Hence the fact that we have like characters that came from the future and whatnot.
That was like a whole thing that they had there, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing with Fates too, where it's like, man, you could have just monsters as your kids. Like, that was the best part of like, I wish they bring that back. Like, Awakening and Fates had the right idea with the like offspring units. I hope they find an excuse to have that kind of thing back, 'cause that type of customization is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was really cool.
Now, number 4 for me would definitely be Mario Kart 7. I spent so much time on this game. Like, I did not like Mario Kart Wii, but when Mario Kart 7 came out, sure, the game was rushed, but it was still fun. I had a lot of fun with the game. Like, there was some really good tracks. It was,
battle mode was so good.
Yeah, battle mode was really good.
It was a good battle mode.
And we also had a pretty weird roster. Like, this one, like, having no Waluigi, but we have the Honey Queen. This is the one we got Wiggler. And also Shy Guy got promoted from being like a download play only character to be a full-fledged character in this game. And when you do download play, like, when the difference between Mario Kart DS and the Mario Kart 7 is with DS, you have a very, very small like amount of tracks that you can race on with that through download play, whereas with Mario Kart 7 you have all the tracks, like all 32 tracks that you can race on, and you can choose which ones rather than just have a select few that you're limited to. That and the fact that I do like the courses. Like, I really liked Music Park.
Music Park was great.
Like
You like Music Park?
I like the idea of it. I like the idea of it. Like, it was good.
Like DK
Probably
Island.
like Coconut Mall.
Like, I love DK Island. I loved
DK Jungle was really good.
the DK Jungle, yeah. Like the Rock Mountain, I will say, is better on 7 than it is on like the Mario 8 Deluxe.
The boosted course pass. Yeah.
But you want to know what was another track that was better on 7 than it was on 8 Deluxe?
Which one?
It's like the Neo Bowser City. Like, it's better on 7, not so great on 8 Deluxe. There's a lot of other good tracks, and it has my now second favorite Rainbow Road in the series. It used to be my favorite until Mario Kart World came out. But 7 is my second favorite now for Rainbow Roads. And it was so nice they brought it into Super Smash Brothers for 3DS, which 3DS, I wish they would have brought that back in Ultimate. They didn't.
Oh yeah, that's not there, is it?
No, it's not. It should have been back in Ultimate.
Yeah.
Which that segues into number 3 on my list, and that's Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, which I'm going to say this right now. It has a better classic mode than the Wii U version. The Wii U has the worst classic mode in the series. And also, when you compare Smash World, Smash Tour,
Smash Run, yeah,
and Smash Run. Smash Run is so much better. The thing is, Smash Run is pretty much City Trial in Smash Bros. Form.
Exactly.
They should have brought.
I love it.
Like the fact that Smash on Wii U did not have that, and instead it had that. Because honestly, I kind of found Smash Tour to be lame. It's not great. It's kind of boring. I would have at least brought Smash Run back in Ultimate. No, I will say I will forgive Sakurai since he actually made a new Kirby Air Ride game. But yeah, but at the same time, like, we have a pretty good roster on both, even with the DLC characters. Though, at the same time, we did lose out on Ice Climbers and Pokemon Trainer. Like, we just got Charizard back.
Yeah, we did.
But however, they did change something for the better. Like, they did change Samus and Zero Suit Samus and Zelda and Sheik, so that their characters, like, they're not stance characters anymore. They're characters on their own, and they kind of feel better that way. Though in the case of Zero Suit Samus, she benefits from that. She became a much better character overall because of it.
She became a lot stronger.
And Zelda, like, they gave her a move where she summons, like, a statue. I believe that was from, like, Phantom Hourglass.
It's an hourglass.
Yeah, Spirit Tracks, yeah.
Yeah. But we did get a lot of cool characters. We got Villager, we got Mega Man, we got the Wii Fit Trainer, which, Sylver, that's your main right there.
It is.
We got we even got DLC characters like Cloud Strife. We got Ryu from Street Fighter. We got Bayonetta in the game.
Yeah,
I still can't believe that Cloud is in the game. I was literally at Nintendo HQ the day that Direct premiered, and those of us watching it were like,
that was definitely like the best kept secret that they had.
The best kept secret, yeah.
Because Ryu was leaked, and then, like, when they dropped Cloud, like, everyone was going bananas.
The internet went nuts. Like,
absolutely, like, nuts.
Like, and the thing is, at the time, I have not played Final Fantasy VII. I have since played Final Fantasy VII after that, like the original.
You know.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm gonna play remake someday. I'm waiting until when I find out when the release date is for Part 3. That's when I'm gonna play. That's when I'm gonna play remake and rebirth. But yeah, the internet lost their collective minds indeed with Cloud Strife and Smash. That was huge. But Smash 3DS, I spent a lot of time in it. I've played it way more. I think the only reason I played the Wii U version as much is because of the fact that it had amiibos. Although the 3DS had amiibo support, at first you had to have, like, a dedicated, like, NFC reader, like NFC.
The NFC reader, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
but if you have a new 3DS or new 3DS XL, you can just tap the bottom screen, the touch screen, and you can be able to use your amiibo.
Yeah.
Now, number two for me is going to be Pokemon Moon. I've spent a lot of time on Pokemon Moon. So, my thing is that Gen 6 was a huge disappointment, despite the fact that I spent a lot more time on that. But
Team Flame sucks.
Yeah, Team Flame sucks. But Gen 7, that's the one where we had the Alola region. Like, it came out 10 years ago. It was during the time of, like, the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. And it was a nice region. Like, it was the first one to have like Pokemon, like this Pokemon that you know of, but in a different form because they had regional forms. Like they had Alola forms, like for example, Alola Meowth, where it's a dark type instead of a normal type. That's just a small example. Like I remember seeing like a Alola Exeggutor where it has like that long ass neck.
I remember that was funny as hell seeing it.
That was. But yeah, I spent a lot of time on Pokemon Moon. I did not spend as much time on Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, because to be honest with you, it's half the same game, and the other half they decided to do this whole Rainbow Rocket thing, which I was like, not interested. But yeah, Pokemon Moon was fantastic. That's my number 2, and number 1 is a tie. It's a tie. Kid Icarus Uprising and The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that one's so good too.
Okay, that game,
good one.
perfect game. No notes.
But I do have, but like with Kid Icarus Uprising, I do love the story. I do love the characters. I do love the settings and everything. The game was a lot of fun. I spent so much time on it. And A Link Between Worlds, I love the fact that you're able to like get yourself onto the walls and be able to like move between the walls. And then you go from Hyrule to Lowrule because it's in the same universe as A Link to the Past. Granted, different Link, but still, it was fun. It's a very good Zelda game. I think that if there's a Zelda game that should get a remake, or remaster, I would not be against this one. Like people will probably be like, yeah, we should get the Oracle games. I agree with that. Yeah, we should get a Minish Cap remake. I also agree with that. But I also want a remake of this game too. A Link Between Worlds deserves the credit. Like if they decided, and Nintendo announced tomorrow that it's gonna get remade, I'm gonna buy it again because I think it's a fantastic game. But yeah, like those are like my number 1s. There's a tie, but my honorable mentions are like both Monster Hunters 3 and 4 Ultimate. I didn't really, I did not play Generations on 3DS. I did play Generations Ultimate on Switch.
On Switch, yeah.
Because the Monster Hunter games I played were like those 2 Generations, and I missed out on World. I did get Rise, and I love playing Rise. I haven't played Wilds yet. I would like to play Wilds someday. But I've heard
we never did Sunbreak. I know that
we never did Sunbreak. Well, we did a little bit, but we just stopped. I wanted to go back to it, but and then I never got Wilds. And I've heard mixed things about Wilds because it's mainly the optimization that was not great.
Yeah, I basically bought a second computer to run Wilds. My OG computer was not going to run it very well, and I was freaking out because I wanted to stream it. So I bought my friend's like old pre-built computer that wasn't working. I had to replace one part, which was the GPU, which was fun. That was an investment. The other honorable mentions I want to bring up, like Street Fighter, Dead or Alive. Oh yeah, Dead or Alive Dimensions.
I played SteamWorld Dig on this thing. I played Pushmo. I played like
Pushmo's great.
VVVVVV. I've played.
Did you play Sakura Samurai?
Yes, but I haven't finished it. But I enjoyed it, and I never finished. I never finished Rolling Western. But you wonder. But you wonder what's a game that I think was impressive that people should have played on the 3DS, even though they did port it to other platforms. The first Resident Evil Revelations, or if you read the misprint, Resident Evil Revelations.
Oh yeah,
that's say that on the package.
Yeah, that was back when Capcom that was back when Capcom kept making spelling mistakes on their box art.
Yes,
and the multiplayer for that was great. I was like, we have multiplayer Resident Evil.
Yes,
because I remember they had the Mercenaries. They had Revelations.
I actually like the Mercenaries 3D, but Resident Evil Revelations. No, but Resident Evil Revelations. Like when you look at the graphical style of that game, it looks like an Xbox 360 game that got ported to the 3DS. Like it looks just that good. Like Like
I remember that was like one of the first like big like wow moments with the 3DS where like the BOW would like throw somebody and hit the wall and you see the blood splatter and I'm like, whoa, that's you can see that in 3D.
yeah,
You know, like that was crazy.
it's like people wonder how can a company like that make games that look great and play great at the same time on a handheld like that with limitations, and my answer to that is because it's Capcom. Capcom knows how to make the best use of hardware as much as possible. They do their best they can. Like they always love pushing hardware to the limits.
Yeah, no, Capcom on the 3DS was like insane. Like they had like a lot of like really solid games on that. Like I know like even games that I wouldn't think about like Project Crosszone.
Oh yeah, the Project Crosszone games. Yes, there was 2 of them.
Yeah,
Best soundtrack ever.
Yes,
you know the soundtrack for that was great. Like
yeah,
man.
But now I want to ask. I'm going to start with Korshal on this one. How much has? And we're going to do this before we do the community questions. How much has the 3DS meant to you, Korshal?
Oh man, so I guess if I'm here, it's pretty obvious to say like it's a lot. Like it's a lot if we think about it. But like to me, especially considering like when I had it compared to what I like where I am now as a person, the 3DS for me in gaming, like my relationship with gaming, was like probably the last period I had substantial amount of time before the whole like job thing kicked in. I say that loving my job, of course, but like this is it's so much of like my later stages of childhood where there's so much time to be able to focus on having the system and being able to play all the games with it and getting to experience like this was right around the time when like remake kind of like culture was kind of more picking up in a good way. And you get things like it was kind of mentioned before, but the 3DS classics was a thing. I can think about the Kirby's Adventure 3D. And since Kid Icarus has been such a subject, even the Kid Icarus 3D, like I like both of those. It's a shame that series never really like had a foot to gain on to continue getting more in the system because I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
But the like getting to spend all the time in the music feature, especially for me, being such awakening or helping to continue my burgeoning interest in music, along with the fact that the 3DS was kind of like the end of a gateway of wanting gaming by and large to be taken with you, but into a social space. Like the Switch, obviously, still you can take it with you to like events and gatherings, all that. But like since StreetPass has been such a star of our discussion, we think about the culture and the excitement that it wasn't just like taking the system to just like a group of friends. You weren't just like meeting up with 4 people. You were wanting to go out into a huge crowd of people. You want to get into this huge associated like event where everyone's there and they all wanted to share like a quick pass by. It really sparked curiosity for wanting to see and meet just passerbys and getting to go like, oh, this is a snapshot of somebody in my area I might have never thought about. And that's the type of window that, at least currently, the Switch systems and Switch 2 don't quite do the same. Because it's like, the Switch 2, you take a personal pocket of yourself to other people you know most of the time. You're like, I can take this system with me, and it's representative of my tastes, of like the things I like to do as a person. So I can take it to my friends who may already have that with me. But the 3DS was like your gaming passport of like, oh, here's a quick piece of my information of who I am and what I like to do. And everyone else wanted to share that with you as well. So I think about what it really encouraged me to do when I had so much time to do it before, like kind of getting a little older and being a working adult kind of closes the door and some of that like whimsy when you get to do it. And it's really nostalgic, more so than even my like beloved GBA and OG DS days. When I think about like, I got to take it to the first couple of conventions I was able to start going to as I got a little older, when you really got to experience StreetPass in like full force as a guy in a rural area where you're like, this is what it's like when you're just having to clear your plaza out like 3 to 4 times a day plus, because you're just constantly hitting that 10 cap So you're sitting down in between panels. You're like, I got to clear it out. I got to press that button. I got to mash through, hold the L, get those animations going by quick. There's so much that you got to do because of that, like, it feels, I don't mean to be like old man yelling at cloud kind of scenario here, but I don't feel like in today's general like culture and the way of society works, and so much of it is like insular, where you're like, you have your phone, like smartphone stuff, your computer, you're like being kind of focused on it itself, and you're kind of in your own ecosystem a lot of the time. Or like, and that has plenty of perks, of course, but it's such a different experience that Street Pass encouraged you to go beyond that. It wanted you to kind of look outside your circle, even just for a second, at glimpses of other people who had at least a little bit of a similar interest to you by owning a 3DS, but at the same time could be doing something so entirely different that you couldn't think about or like never even had come to mind at first. Maybe a game you never heard of with their choice on the plaza, stuff like that, where you're like, it's a sense of discovery that I think the 3DS really represents, that made you want to share that info to the world rather than just like your friend circle that you're bonding with over the Switch. Its vibe is so different, I think, compared to where Nintendo currently is with the Switch. And I don't think the Switch should necessarily cop that. I think the Switch does a lot right in its own way, but I recognize them as entirely different experiences when it comes to how they want to be social. So I think about that, and now especially that I'm older and I don't get quite as many opportunities to be able to go out, because for me it involves a lot of traveling, that I can recognize that time in the life that it represented, giving me those like doors I was able to have. And I really appreciate that. I really like what the system tried to do on a social aspect. Of course, the big 3D part of it was like, I still think it was done well, but for a lot of people, it was kind of take it or leave it. It was definitely more of the optional part of the system versus the real winner of like Street Pass. And man, who knew such a little feature of having like a local wireless communication just built into your system on standby could prove to be such a significant, like, for a lot of people, including us here in this room, life-changing experience by just having a little like wireless, like, haha, like, oh, look at this cute thing. And it just burgeoned into so much more. So thank you, 3DS, for that. This little guy right here next to me on the desk. I really appreciate my systems for what it let me have and the doors it opened, both socially and for my music career.
Oh, yeah. Now, that is absolutely an amazing Korshal. What about you, Rydia?
I feel so many of the same things you are saying. I feel the same way. Like, so many people I never would have met without this 3DS. And like going around, like last week, I've been taking the train to work. And the first day, the first time in months, I actually got, Street Pass tags, and I saw the green light lighting up, and I was like excited. I was like, who's nearby? What is somebody playing? What are they doing? And like my friend who I have a Pokemon podcast with, I'm not sure if we would have had the podcast without the 3DS, because both of us were playing Pokemon Shuffle a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It might be my most played game on my 3DS I saw. I'm like, Pokemon Shuffle is my most played game. I'm like, just on this 3DS, I have over 500 hours on it. I'm like, why? What is my life?
It's a good game.
Yeah.
And just things like the 3D feature, I think it's great that it, got people more interested in looking at art and ways or messing around with 3D videos, which was so fun. And just like you're talking about the music app, there are so many fun things you do that, are very innovative and new and different. So
yeah.
I'm very thankful that this came into existence.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, indeed. What about you, Sylver?
Well, I mean, like I said, like the 3DS is like basically the most social console I've ever had. Without it, who knows where things would have gone. Like I would have not met a lot of people in my life definitely would have not met you, Pete.
Yeah.
Or by extension, Korshal. You know, there's a lot of people who I would not have like known as a result. You know, like without that connection. You know, and I've gotten to really come out of my shell and like really meet all sorts of people from all walks of life. Really get to really get to explore more of New York, because this is like by the time the trailers came out, I think I was like about a year and change back in New York, because like I've been living in Jamaica prior to that, because I was going to school there, and I'd come back to the city, you know, after I graduated, and I was doing like another stint of high school, 2 more years of high school, and then college, and then like, you know, I didn't really know anyone besides like even in my neighborhood I didn't really know anymore, because like they'd all like gone here and there. So obviously I think my family, and I knew like, you know, maybe a handful of people here and there, but not like on the level of like friends. Like they're like their neighbors, you know. I had to really kind of go out and like find like a whole new group of people to really be friendly with, you know. And this is like outside of school, because I'm still fairly new, and so getting to meet, you know, all the guys in StreetPass NYC, you know, getting to explore New York, you know, get to learn how the subway works, you know,
Yep.
and everything, you know, getting to like really see all the stuff. Because I remember like, God, the first day like I went to that 25th anniversary of Mario Brothers party. It was the same day as the New York Marathon, and I
Yeah.
didn't know how to get to the store like properly, so I was like taking like all sorts of weird routes to get there. Like I like looking back at like how I used to like take the trains like to get to places was like awkward as hell. But over time, you know, as I get to like learn how to move through places, like, you know, and as like other tourists kind of comes into factor, you know, I was looking forward to seeing who, you know, I end up crossing paths with, you know, just seeing like, you know, if maybe I'll see them again in the future. If not, then that's like a one-time thing. It's always like a joy to just pull out the 3DS and like see that light pop up. uh Again, I think it was like my companion for a good while. Like I loved listening to music on it. I had like a whole host of songs on that, and I'd flip through so many things, you know, either like current like pop and rock stuff, you know, alternative music, anime stuff. I think this was like when I started to listen to a lot more like Japanese, like, you know, J-pop and everything. And even into college, like, I was still listening to it. Like before I moved over to my smartphone wholesale, you know, the 3DS was still giving me like a lot of hours of entertainment, and again, a lot of photography. Even though, again, you know, the cameras sucked majorly back then, you know, because like it still worked out. Like I checked like if there were any like photos still there. There are still some old photos that are there, like 3D photos. I brought up 3D Porch earlier because that was like a pretty cool like little site that happened around like 2012, 2013. It's no longer available, but it was fun to see people take all sorts of like 3D photos of stuff, and people were like sharing all sorts of photos, and there were like photo contests and all that stuff.
We forgot about the Miiverse.
The thing is, like, I started seeing Miiverse a lot more with the Wii U, even though it was on the 3DS as well.
3DS.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Like Miiverse was on 3DS like later, but like that was like it's still a core part of it. Like there's like so many things about it that are just so great, because like even like I feel like also like first thing for me, I never had to play like a lot of 3DS games. You know, like I kind of like swapped to the Wii U over when I was like a lot more into like the Wii U console.
Yeah.
So like I think like after I picked up, I think my last game that I picked up on the 3DS was actually Link Between Worlds. And I think no, it was actually Tomodachi Life. And then like I just was just playing more Wii U stuff. So there's a lot of 3DS games that came out that I didn't get a chance to play, like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I know I didn't play Fates, but I did play Awakening. I do have the, and the funny, I won the amiibo for Fire Emblem Echoes, but I never bought Echoes at all. I won it in a raffle at the store. But I think the good thing about the 3DS nowadays too is just like people have like done so much with that thing. Like it's a meme now to hack your 3DS.
It's so easy to hack.
It's so easy to hack your 3DS. Like it really is. Like, and both of mine are modded, because like what I did, I copied my 3DS like contents to my other 3DS here, my catcher 3DS, so I able to have all my stats and everything, and also all my save data, and just kind of go from there. So technically, this is like my travel 3DS now, and this is my catcher 3DS. So anytime I'm playing like any games on stream, this is what I got. You know, grip and all. Excuse me. And yes, this is still like my OG like 3DS from 2011. Like it's had its wear and tear moments. I had to replace the battery because it was bulging for like a good portion of a year, and I had to replace it. It still works very well to this day. And one thing I love too, and I've done this as like a thing for my all my portable consoles. Like since the OG DS in 2004, this is the OG like thumb strap for it. Like I put it on like every single like 3DS that I've had, since, and it's still on this one because this is like still in operation. So it's not sad that the Switch doesn't have like a strap like holder, so like it's gonna stay on the 3DS for a while. But like I've had this literally since 2004, 2005. The unfortunately the part that makes the strap like kind of breaks, so like, but it is still the OG like thumb strap and everything with like the little the little like touch thing you press on the screen for Mario for to make a analog or whatever. um yeah, like I look at it. I'm like all the memories are just washing back. Like I'm growing up from a teen to like a young adult basically, because like it's like high school into I go to college into young adulthood, and I'm like, yeah, that's like me. It's like it's formative years, like when I look at like my childhood, it's like that's N64, that's early DS, maybe a little bit of GameCube there or PS2. But like when I think of like the 3DS, that's I'm buying my own games. I don't have to rely on my dad to like buy games for me anymore. um, like I'm buying my own content. Like if I get gifts from family, maybe the 3DS games, or like it's eShop money. So I can get more eShop games. Um, yeah, it's my everything device because I'm watching Netflix on it for Pete's sake. Like it's a great system. Like I look back at it very fondly, and like, it means a lot to me because like that was where I've gone from like baby gamer learning about modern gaming to like I'm like on the cusp of technology now. I'm like with it. I'm like there on the cutting edge. Getting everything like day one, and like being there for launches and waiting in lines with all these other Nintendo nerds going crazy and having fun. And that's that for that for Tom. That was the life.
That was the life.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Just always wanted to be a part of that, like all those events,
like a huge community, yeah, and like seeing all those people, just like me, just having fun, that was great to have, Yeah.
So, regarding the 3DS, if it wasn't for the 3DS Sylver, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met Rydia or anybody else in my life in general because, I'm gonna be very honest. Like, yeah, I had some friends from college, but even aside from that, I kind of was mostly keeping to myself for a good portion of my life. Outside of when I used to play the Pokemon card game, and even then, like a lot of the people there were more like closer to my younger brother than they were with me. So I kind of felt like I drifted away from that. Excuse me. And then with my friends from college, I was still close with them, but then it's like, even though we were like hanging out and whatnot, it's just the fact that I was more focused on like just wanting to do things with myself, but I felt less like that once I got my 3DS, and then once I started going to StreetPass and YC events, eventually becoming an admin, going places, meeting people, it just felt different. And I loved every minute of it for a long time. Not everything was amazing, but most of it was fantastic. And my experiences with my 3DS, I will never take. It's one of those things I never want to take for granted. Really happy to have met all my friends that I've met throughout the years. And I'm just really grateful for everything. So this console like has some of the best games of its time, and I just love taking this with me everywhere back in the day. Yeah. But it means so much because like just the impact, being able to go out anywhere, socialize. It's really just to get me into a completely different comfort zone that would actually become one that I would absolutely be grateful for over the years. That's really why the 3DS means so much to me. Community questions. Dari Gamer asks, do you wish the StreetPass moved on from 3DS to Switch 2? Yes. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I basically was already saying that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes. Epic Man asks, what is a game that you like that benefits from having the 3D effect on? Well, to be honest with you, when it comes, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to say Resident Evil Revelations is definitely one of them.
No, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
I think I like you here a little bit like away from the norm. I've been playing the game in a long time, but this is like one of the games that were in the Guild of One series. If you remember a game called Liberation Maiden,
Liberation Maiden.
It was like this really cool shooter that Suda51 made, and it's basically like a huge it's a huge shooter. You walk around, these cities in Japan. You're basically blowing them up and bringing them back to like to nature, and it's a very strong 3D effect. It feels like, again, like I'm peering into like a little peephole, and like it is amazing. Like I always like seeing like how well the 3D effect is pronounced in that one. I'll also give a shout out to Harmonite as well, because like that had a pretty nice 3D effect as well.
Oh yeah, Harmonite.
Great game.
Yep.
I think the 3D effects in the videos are always some of the most impressive to me, especially when they have any of those, like the Red Bull videos with water or skateboarding or any of those like that.
Or those music videos,
yeah, on the music videos.
Yeah. Remember that?
I feel like OK Go had like had a couple that were on there, and they were like shot in 3D and everything. It was really nice.
Yep.
I like those.
Yep. What about you, Korshal?
I would think the stuff I like the 3D effects most for, I talked about a little bit before. I like the 3D classics approach that really made it like a shadow box. That's just like art style I've wound up appreciating more, because that's like, so I have a soft spot when I go to like video game conventions now for artists who do like a shadow box style, like wall art kind of things. I own several pieces of various sellers, like shadow box that's just like sprites lifted up in layers. I have a couple Mega Man X ones. I have a couple of like Donkey Kong Country ones. There's a Super Mario RPG one. I've gifted a Donkey Kong Country 2 one to a close friend of mine who's like obsessed with that game. That's his childhood game. And I really started getting that appreciation more when I got to see how cool it was to have like Kirby popped up above the like 2 layers of backgrounds before when it comes to that. Another 3D that I remember liking a lot, because I ended up having a bit of a competition with a friend over high scores in this, is Star Fox 64 3D.
Oh,
I thought the incoming 3D of the on-rail shooter, I thought worked really well. And there was a time when I had a friend who was like a little down in the dumps, stuff happened. And to help cheer him up, I was like, well, you already really like this game, and you have your N64 copy at home. And I have the 3DS copy of Star Fox 64. So it's time for us to start getting our grind on, our game on, and saying who can best each other. And actually for weeks, we were posting to each other besting high scores, because we were figuring out our optimal route of getting the most amount of points that we could in the run. Yeah. And I will say, since Star Fox 64 3D lets you save between levels, I kind of had a bit of an advantage in that I could redo levels more easily than him. That said, he still bested me. He was still better than me, and I'll admit it. I still lost the score more at the end of the day. But I spent a lot of time with that game because of this. And I did really like how the 3D worked for that. I spent a good amount of time with the 3D on, because I thought it was like a delight to see things coming directly at you as you're piloting your R-Wing. And now it's more topical than ever with Star Fox right now, so it's a great time to talk about it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The movie, yeah.
Now, Rydia, I know you mentioned music videos, but what about games regarding the 3D?
I think 3D Land is definitely the one that pops out at me.
Definitely.
Especially because of the isometric view and like things like Marble Madness, like on the NES, if you could play it in a 3D version,
3D space, yeah.
like you would have the perfect like isometric platformer. And since I love games of that style, like Bert or whatever that where you move like that, I just love that you can accurately see how you're jumping around
Yeah,
Stream
I think they also had like 3D puzzles in that one as well, where like it would look like a certain, it would look a certain way, and then you press a button, and then they rotate the room to look more to look actually like this. It's like this, but if you had the 3D on, you could tell where it's like not like correct or whatever. It's good.
Yep. One more game I'll bring up before I go to the next question is Pushmo. Like any games with push, and to an extent, I'm also gonna bring up the other two games that's part of it, Crashmo and Stretchmo, because like the 3D like the game benefits from the 3D. Like those games, I wish that they were able to bring them back though, but maybe someday they probably would. I would absolutely love them to come back. Next question is from Professor. No, actually, no, it's not. It's from Nova. With how the DS is known for the amazing third-party lineup of games and not so much for the 3DS, I'm curious, what's your favorite 3DS third-party game and why, or one you enjoy? Well, Resident Evil Revelations is phenomenal. I already talked a lot about that one, but it's definitely up there. And if I have to think of another one that's worthy of being up there, I actually forgot another game that I meant to mention, but it should have actually been on my list. Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward is such a fantastic game. It's the sequel to 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors on the DS. Because it's part of a trilogy. Like the third game is Zero Time Dilemma, but that one is not as good. But Virtue's Last Reward is fantastic, especially on the 3DS, where you have the escape rooms, being able to try to solve puzzles, and then in order to find a way to get out of whatever room you're in within the time limit, and within and then you have the whole system of like ally and betray, so that you could, but the game has so many twists that lead to different endings. Like you have to find certain endings in order to get the true ending, just like in 999. But I felt that the way that it was structured here was better, because like the first one, it was straightforward. It was just like the simple game of the nonary game. This one was the Amidex edition, where you had the ally and betray system. But the game goes extremely deep. You have to understand like just how fucked up everything gets once you get through the story. Like it's completely messed up. Like but yeah, like Virtue's Last Reward is definitely like one of the best third-party games on the 3DS. Sylver?
I know I brought up both Liberation Maiden and SteamWorld Dig. There's like a lot of handfuls that I bring up because like a lot of these were like really like 3DS eShop games. Like I feel like the eShop, this is like the last proper time that we had like a real. This is before I guess like real like the indie game takeover. I guess for future like generations and stuff. Like back when we had like a lot of smaller games. Like I remember playing. Again, I bring up the Guild One games. So Liberation Maiden, Weapon Shop the OMSA was really good. Nice little comedy game. This is also the time I played like Gunman Clive. That was like this little like Mega Man style game that's like more Western based. But like I think like one game I also want to bring up as well, because like I forgot this is like towards the end of like my 3DS like playing. I played a lot, was actually Retro City Rampage Deluxe, because that was on 3DS actually. Like I have it on 3DS, and I have it on Steam, and I remember bringing it up on 3DS a lot more because I talked about this with the developer, because like we're both fans of GTA Chinatown Wars on DS, and I was asking him like, hey, like the missions on these really feel like bite sized like Chinatown Wars, and he's like, yeah, like I played that a lot, like that was like inspiration for like why I wanted to put this game on the 3DS, and that was really good.
Yep.
And one more third party game I'll throw in there, because I played it solely just because it was a fun beat 'em up. Senran Kagura Burst was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. All right, what about you, Korshal? For third parties.
Oh,
I think you're muted.
Oh no, are you muted?
Oh yeah, oops, I did that because I was fighting back his knees. Thank you.
All good.
All right, so
hey.
from the top. I know I already mentioned 2 in the top 5 that I had with Kingdom Hearts and Tales of the Abyss, but I'll name 2 others that still are like ones I really like. One, Shantae, The Pirate's Curse is a very good one. Probably still, honestly, the strongest of like the Shantae titles. I played all of them by this point, and I've liked all of them. So it's still kind of weird to go all the one without like transformations really is the best one of the series about transformations, but they did a really good job with that game. And it's like a nice connection of a couple of the other subtle plot threads throughout the games leading up to it. So I like that a lot. And then I started my system with Samurai Warriors Chronicles, so then I can shout out the end of life Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3 because the United States was not worthy of getting the second game. So we jumped straight to the third one as a download-only title here for that had performance boosts on the new 3DS model. It's really fun. It really took a lot of Samurai Warrior 4's mechanics, and that's really when the series started getting like a lot more emphasis on fast action. Like it really started finding its groove to have people not just give it the IGN review loop of boring button mashers 6 out of 10. Like this is when Omega Force, the main developers, really started finding their groove of what keeps like a fast-paced, interesting hack and slash. And the game's always pretty funny to me because if I remember my lore right, there was a friend of mine had it for their regular 3DS, but the way the game was working, it was crashing on trying to load a certain cutscene on the standard 3DS. That when they got a new 3DS, it stopped crashing. It was like something performance-wise. I don't know. It was just they were having bad luck, or if that was like a continued problem for OG 3DS owners. But I remember there's like that was a game with significant performance boosts by being able to have a new 3DS model specifically. So I like shouting that out because it's an interesting way to kind of like show that the new 3DS system did have benefits horsepower wise that Hyrule Warriors Legends would also show off in force as Omega Force like, oh yeah, here we have this extra juice. See how much it really does make a difference getting that much little extra in your console strength to have our games like be fun.
There's some games where like OG 3DS just could not keep up at all, or it just tried, but like desperately could not. Like I know Hyrule Warriors Legends was on it, Fireman Wars was also on it as well.
Yep,
it was.
And I don't think they ever put any other like exclusive Nintendo 3DS games, Nintendo, because I know they had Xenoblade Chronicles 3D.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever made like
Super
another
Nintendo
one.
games.
Oh yeah, they were exclusive as well. Yeah, I don't know. Like I remember that. Obviously, Smash Brothers like worked a lot better on new 3DS because old 3DS was just going through it.
It was.
It tried its best. That humble little guy. We love it.
It sure did.
Yeah, no, it was really trying its best to kind of hang out with the newer games. But then like as they kept putting like newer games like freaking Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. And Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. I'm like, what? Are you think the OG3 is gonna still like work with this or no? I think by then people were they stopped selling the original 3DS, so it was just a matter of like compatibility. If you wanted to get a new 3DS, you could upgrade pretty easily, and they were coming down in price anyway.
Yeah. Rydia?
I think definitely when you asked about third-party games, the first things that jumped into my mind were Resident Evil Revelations and any of the Monster Hunter games. Because, like, that Resident Evil game, like, this was perfect for trying to terrify yourself because you could just put some headphones on, turn off all the lights, and then sit there curled up, like, playing through this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how addictive the Monster Hunter games would be. How many hours upon hours I spent playing them, trying to unlock new weapons, new armor, encounter new creatures. And the first one I played almost exclusively by myself, which was very difficult. Even though I did know some people, but I did appreciate when we, had the meetups. That way we could actually do hunts together in groups. And I love everything about the series, and the fact that I got introduced to it was like so cool.
Oh yeah.
With, like, other third-party games, there was like Project Cross Zone, X Zone, like
Yeah, that's a good one.
it was just like a fun, innovative game, and the sequel as well. You get to see all of your favorite characters together, fighting each other in whatever crazy interactions they have with each other.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What's next? Next up is from Professor Icepick. Do you wish that Nintendo had kept their portable and home console lines separate, or are you happy with the unified future? There's pros and cons when it comes to keeping them separate, and there's pros and cons to putting them together. The biggest pro in having it put together is the fact that one console has a lot more output. But in terms of the cons, and this is something that people dispute, it's not exactly a con for me, but it's probably a con for other people, is that they feel like by unifying like every game into one platform, that means that it kind of loses a little bit of personality for like some of the games. I don't necessarily completely agree with that, but I understand that point, why people prefer to have two handhelds. I'd rather one handheld, one console. But for me, like, I'm probably leaning towards that. I'm actually fine with the unified console future. What about you, Sylver?
I think, like, honestly, they were already like kind of starting to like merge. Like, the whole point of the whole console portable divide was that portables were behind by like a long stretch, and by the time that we get to the Wii U Switch era, you know, like portables were already kind of like on the same playing field as consoles. It's just a matter of like who would be able to bridge the gap, in a good way. A lot of people forget, like, before I guess the Switch, there was the Nvidia Shield. That was more of like a portable handle, but it had Nvidia's technology behind it, and Nvidia makes like a lot of like huge graphic cards and everything. And who would they end up partnering with to make the Switch? Nintendo.
No.
The Tegra X chips were powering the Switch, so it was already like a done deal when they realized the Shield and eventually the Shield TV were kind of like already bridging the gap between like portability and like home consoles. So merging those into like a hybrid console, you know, it was already like a done deal. Like Nintendo realized that if they could merge their team together, they'd be making like a lot more games. They're making games that are like a lot easier to develop for over time, and also I feel like again things were just changing again with games. Like no, there's no longer I guess a portable game and a console game. I guess nowadays it's mobile games are mobile games, and then there's like the bigger console games. Mobile games, indie games, console games, whatever. Uh, the game that we have on the 3DS, for example, like they're definitely like bite sized their own way, but they were already they were getting up to that point where like they're being like full size games. Like from 3D Land we get 3D World over time. From Fire Emblem Fates and Awakening we get Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah.
It was already like a near step up towards console quality. So I keeping them separate wouldn't have made much sense because like at the time, of course, Nintendo were really in danger because like the 3DS was kind of like pulling its weight, and the Wii U was kind of flopping, sadly. Uh, I like most people think it was like out of like desperation, but like technology was changing at the time. I think Nintendo realized where their strengths were, and considering if they could bring that portable, mastery into like their console, into their console like making and such, like I think they could have stood to make a lot of money of it, and sure they have. 100 million units later, more or 150 million units later, like more than the DS and everything. They took a gamble and it worked. So I think thinking back to like if it was ever gonna happen, or if it would be better to be separate, I think it's better together. Just technology is moving in that direction. Like you can't really undo that because the whole portable console thing was basically on like, okay, so if the Game Boy looks like this and like a Super Nintendo looks like this, how long does it take for them to merge? And turns out, give them like 20 years and like they'll catch up.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Korshal?
So I'm also in the camp that I think it's good this wound up on a singular path. For a lot of the reasons that were stated, I think another thing I think about that too is that in like gaming culture as like at large, and especially with getting your hands on the tech, like the devices themselves to play games, it's become a bit of a harder path. I'm sure I don't have to like re-point out the obvious that gaming as a whole has kind of become a more expensive hobby
Yeah.
for a multitude of reasons. And because of that, like I think it's good. It's nice to kind of have that lane simplified when you think about it like that. Like even if there was, say, another successor to the 3DS that was separate from the Switch to itself, think about like what it just means for the average person to want to be able to experience, especially with Nintendo's first party lineup, because they're really kind of more or less the only one who's able to keep a very consistent drumbeat of their own games that make you go, this defines who they are. When like there's obviously a bunch of other good games, but there's not like you still think about the other major console players or what may be remaining of them in some cases of Xbox as some of their marketing campaigns have like you saw the like you think about this as an Xbox and you go like, oh,
Yep.
this could be anything you want it to be. And like that lost its identity right there. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, there's so many competing things that can play different variety of Xbox titles in this day and age when there's so many like you have to pick one thing and stick with it, be it a console box, be it a PC. Perhaps like you can have a second thing with you if you really like can afford it and it's makes sense for you to have the games on there sort of deal. Then you go like, it's good now that there's a singular Nintendo option and that they're so consistent on what they want their titles to be and like their type of games they do that their studios are all developing more or less for a singular target in like the type of performance you can get out of it or like how you kind of want to stretch the budget of the games. Like pricing aside, the fact they forced in the $70 wave, I'm not going to always necessarily forgive them for, or in Mario Kart World's case, a little bit worse. But that's just kind of more, that's just to the point that, like, where would I be if there were still two Nintendo systems I had to keep up with their own pricing schemes to like the whims of outside forces of trying to make these things that continue to push the limits of what like there's always an expectation of, oh, there's a brand new 3DS successor that's not the Switch 2. We expect it to be performatively better than the new 3DS XL to some part. Like that's just like a consumer mindset. I think it's a little bit better nowadays as like there's only so much visual return you get out of things. But like regardless, if there's this expectation from the industry that may or may not be correct, honestly, to be like, oh, it's always got to be something that will continue to push the envelope in some direction. If you only can do so much with that without making it out of reach for the consumer, I'm glad that they consolidated into the Switch like family of going, sure, let's just put it both camps in the one here in the center. Because then everyone can get what they want out of this thing. If they want it to be at home all the time, they can. But if they want to take it with them as a portable system, I think putting those two ideas into one with such success that the Switch brought was good. And I'm glad now that like amongst all the other things constantly going, oh, you can just do this on this device or that device. You're like, oh, it's us all here on the Switch and I don't have to go anywhere else. Everything I want for my Nintendo stuff is right here with obviously a couple experimental things aside. But like, I'm glad it's just my singular Nintendo home. I know I look at it and I go, this is my like nostalgic appreciation for a bunch of Nintendo IPs right here in one spot. I'm glad I don't have to go out of my way to hunt down other systems, especially with like FOMO console launches and all that silly nonsense we've had to deal with over the years.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, once I get this thing, I'm good. And I'm good for like 6 years. And I don't have to do that like 2 times every 6 years with 2 systems.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. What about you, Rydia?
I guess it feels like the natural evolution of games. I think like you were saying, Sylver, like I always thought of it was like, you know, Wii U was, you know, GameCube and like, you know, a GBA smashed together. And then, they got more smashed together when the Nintendo Switch came out. It's like, that's what the Wii U was trying to turn into. And now I don't have to worry about like transferring my files back and forth. Like with Monster Hunter, you could transfer back and forth your save file from your 3DS to your Wii U, but now it's all one system. And if you want to see it on a big, beautiful screen, just dock it, and you can see Bravely Default, all huge and gorgeous. You can just play it on your console, holding it. So it's like you've got all of the options put into one system, that you're not trying to get all the different versions.
Oh yeah,
it'd be very hard.
Oh. Right.
Man. I think it works.
All right. Azran127 asks, which models have you experienced with? Most of them. The ones I have not experienced with that much were like the new 2DS XLs. I didn't really use them much. I barely used the original 2DS, like that Fisher Price looking thing.
The little piece of toast.
Yeah, but
so
yeah,
you can bite on it. It's very hardy.
But yeah, for me, it's just most of them. Sylver.
Yeah, like you saw me. I only have the OG 3DS and the new 2DS XL. I never got to. I really wanted to get. So here's the thing. I really wanted to get a new 3DS when it came out, but in North America, for some reason, they only launched the new 2DS XL, the new 3DS XL first, and I was so mad because I'm like, I wanted the faceplates. That's the whole reason why I wanted the new 3DS. I like the faceplates. I like the look of it, and see. That's what I wanted too. The one with the Pokemon faceplates on it. Like, geez, like I wanted that one. The XLs was great, obviously, like huge size and everything, but like the colors they had were kind of terrible at launch. Personally, I didn't like the red one. I just want something I could buy like multiple faceplates for and then get the themes for it. And then the only reason why I even have the new 2DS XL here is because when I was buying a 3DS capture card from Murky before they were going to close down, I forgot that I had to have my own 2DS XL to like send to them. So I technically got this from Mike, and I bought it off of him, and he sent it on my behalf to Germany to get it all modded.
Oh yeah, so, that was right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, and I guess now there's more capture cards out there, like from Loopy, for example. But like the other like 3DS units never got a chance to really get a handle on them. 3DS XL, new 2DS. I know there was also like there was like four models altogether. It was like OG, XL, 2DS X.
Yes.
Oh wait, well no, new 3DS, new
3DS XL. New Nintendo 3DS XL.
6.
New Nintendo 3DS.
6. I think 6.
Wait, what are we forgetting?
Go. OG 3DS, OG 3DS XL, new 3DS, new 3DS XL, 2DS, new 2DS XL. So
new 2DS XL and a 2DS? No. What?
I mean, well, new 2DS was just the slab, and then the XL was.
Oh, the 2DS XL. Okay.
Yeah. See, the slab was. And
yes.
It was like
it
was like the last ish one that they released before. Because it was released like. This was here because like I think like the top looked like an iPhone. It looked like an iPhone, and like I was like, okay, cool. There were 6 models altogether. I only really managed to get like 2 of them. If there's one I wanted to get, I never got was the new 3DS XL, the original with the faceplates.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted. I still want to get one personally, but like yeah, no, they had like freaking Black Friday GameStop like deal for what was it like $100 to get one of those? I'm like, I missed it.
Yes, and didn't it come with a game too, like New Super Mario Bros. Or something? Yeah,
it did.
It definitely did. Yeah,
those are pretty faceplates.
I was so heated that I missed that. Ones. Oh man. How about you, Korshal?
So I've had experience with 4 of them out of total. I've only personally directly owned the 2 represented on my desk of like the OG 3DS model and the new 3DS XL. But I did gift both the regular new 3DS to a friend, and they ended up getting the Animal Crossing Isabelle faceplates for it, which are really adorable. And then for my younger brother, I was able to get the 2DS, the OG 2DS model in its lovely like cake slice piece of bread toy plastic form as like used at GameStop for like $60 or $70. Those things were dirt cheap for a while. And
yeah, they
when
were.
when it comes time to eventually move out, little bro's just like, hey, I'd still like to have like something so I'd be able to play your library because you've got good games on you, but I'm taking my system with me, of course. So I was like, oh yeah, I can probably look into it. I think 2DS like planes are pretty cheap. And then you see, yeah, they're like nothing back then. I know they're much more now for the collector's market because I think people kind of started liking their really unique form compared to the rest of the 3DS family. But it was just like a steal. I was like, yeah, give me this pre-owned. It was like the black with the blue accents was the one that I ended up getting him. And he still has that thing. The very first thing he played was Dark Moon, or I guess Luigi's Mansion 2 now, as it's properly known everywhere since it's updated port. But yep, those are the 4 that I've held in my hands and played for at least a little bit. But the OG 3DS and then the new 3DS XL are the ones I've spent the most time with.
All right.
All right. Radio?
I've had a decent amount of experience with all of them, though I only own 3 different versions. Or I guess I've owned, 3 different versions myself. OG one, and of course, the new Nintendo 3DS with faceplates that I have to now show off again to torture them. I think are the best models just because they're small. And, I'm always trying to carry all these electronics, and especially the faceplates, there are so many cool designs with it. Just amazing. If you see the glow-in-the-dark Boo ones, those are so cool. And, like, you're talking about that model that had the Mario black and white symbols on it. It's just such a neat, fun idea. And I've seen people making faceplates for it now with 3D printers.
Yeah.
Out and about. And, like, the 2DS XL, I understand why it exists, but I really like the 3D a lot. But if you don't want that, like the new Nintendo 2DS XL, it's just a very good solid system because it does have the larger, big, bright screen.
Yep.
Yeah, the 2DS I always thought of as the indestructible thing. This is what you give to, your 3-year-old cousin when they want to play with you.
Yeah.
It's just like
exactly the reason my little sibling gets one, right?
That's the one I hang on to, yeah.
I was like, here we go. And it also lets like everyone introduce all of the games fun thing. I guess that's my experience with most of them.
Okay. Kyle Gamer asks, seeing all the different bundles for the 3DS family, what were some of your favorite bundles that were released? Well, the thing is that I didn't really do bundles that much because I've practically got my 3DSs like as they're on their own, like
basic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the only thing is that I did get one special edition, which is the Majora's Mask one, but other than that, I didn't really get like anything else. So I didn't really get any bundles.
I know really shows off the Pokemon one. I know that they also had the Link Between Worlds 3DS with the Triforce on top and the bottom.
Was that the really clean looking one that was all gold with?
Yeah.
Well, like that is just one of the best looking systems because it's just.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I know
they did that.
I know they did that one. They did a Xenoblade one as well, which was pretty good. I think it might have been Europe only though. That's the thing.
There was a Monster Hunter one.
Oh, the region locking.
Oh yeah, region lock.
I remember the Pop Tart 3DS one with the Animal Crossing one.
Oh my god, that one. Yeah.
It looks like a Pop Tart. It looks like a Pop Tart. I remember that Pop-Tart. That was pretty cool. And then there's didn't they make one Pikachu one that it was you could touch Pikachu's nose a little bit, it's like a raised cover.
It's the all yellow one.
Yeah.
I remember Ethan Miguel, guy who actually used to do most of the StreetPass boss, and that was one of his favorite editions. That was his prized 3DS.
Also, I know Europe got the Pokemon Red, Yellow, and Blue 2DS bundles, which looked pretty cool. They were translucent 2DSs.
Those were so
sweet.
cool.
Those are cool. Those are cool as hell.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I got my 3DS like day one, like no bundle, just standard thingy.
Yep. Korshal?
So I too just got my systems stand alone. I don't recall specifically game bundles. If this is more of a discussion about like the special edition 3DSs and different designs, I remember the Nintendo ones that did come with stuff. I remember there wasn't there like a Sun and Moon one at some point too. I feel like they did pretty much new designs for almost every
Pokemon like generation, basically.
I feel like it.
They did do one for Sun and Moon, because like it was like one that had like it was like a silhouette of like Solgaleo and Lunala.
No,
That's
yeah.
what I thought. Because I remember liking those, and not a game bundle, but a 3DS design that I looked at longingly because I was a sucker for this and a similar motif on the GBA SP was the NES controller style 3DS XL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I wanted to just go to buy myself like a 3DS just for the aesthetic upgrade. So when that came out, I thought about the fact the NES SP, also a system I didn't end up buying because I never actually owned an SP. I stuck with my OG GBA up until the DS days. But I looked at that one longingly, basically, when my friend had one. And I was like, man, I wish I had that. And then the NES 3DS XL came around. It's like, no, they're doing it again. Another really cool aesthetic I like that I can't have.
Yeah,
I know they did like a Super Famicom one too as well.
If it wasn't for the fact that Nintendo announced the new 3DS XL, I would have got this.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, like again, in the podcast guest room. Yeah, they had Smash Brothers brand 3DSs as well.
Oh, the Smash one.
Oh
there were two of them. There was a red one and a blue one.
And a blue one, yeah. I remember Smash had those. Yeah.
Yeah, because I like the designs. It's just that the problem was bad timing. I would have bought that 3DS if it wasn't for the fact that Nintendo announced the new 3DS XL. So I was like, or in general, I was waiting for it. So yeah.
There was one 3DS that like I was jealous of people for having. I think it was like a Persona one actually, Persona Q.
Oh
yeah, because it had it was like this blue 3DS XL. I think I found the image for it, like and it looked really nice. It had like this little pentagram on it and everything. It was dope. But this was before I really got like into like Persona. Yeah, that one right there, Pete.
No.
And it had like all the characters from Persona 4 and 3 in it. And again, so these 3DSs were stylish as hell.
That one, yes.
Yeah, no, they were really, really stylish.
Yeah, they were.
One of my favorite things at like StreetPass meetups now is if a circle of 3DSs to see all the different versions that people have, and like
it's like a mosh pit of 3DS.
It's a mosh pit of 3DSs.
Yeah. All I have on my old one is Pokemon badges, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rydia, what about you?
I know. See, now I'm trying to. My favorite edition is I think it's Midnight Purple, original 3DS one. On that one. It's great and beautiful.
And then they did a Galaxy one on the new 3DS XL.
Oh.
I think Mike has that one.
Yeah, Mike has that one. Because I remember like Nintendo just announced this one randomly. Like I remember like seeing like
out of nowhere,
seeing it on YouTube, and then like Reggie just like showed it off, and I'm like, wow, like just a random Galaxy one. Yeah, and it actually looked cool.
Yeah, that one's great too.
I
always wish I heard that it's gone now. That there used to be a 3DS at the Louvre.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
and it just got taken away sometime this year or recently.
Yeah, it was recent that they ended support.
Someone's got to fund that. Someone there, please. Fund this art and the 3DS.
It had a really long run, really good run too.
Yeah.
A good long run, like and a number of years, I'd say, because like I remember it was like 2015 that they had a direct about it too, because like they made a special version of the guide on the eShop, and Miyamoto went to the Louvre to do a whole like bit about it.
He did, yes. let's see. So next question comes from Dragonflame. And this goes into, we segue from what Kyle posted to what Dragon posted. What is your favorite special edition 3DS? Mine was a Hyrule edition, but I wish I got the Majora one. Well, I mean, I have the Majora one. In fact, let me go look for it. But you guys talk for a moment.
No.
I was like, I bet you have it like back there somewhere, like at least like. Again, like I brought up that Persona Q1. I know Monster had a good amount of like versions as well.
I know there was multiple versions.
Yeah,
and I think one of them they had like 2 different colors, like maybe there it is.
Yeah, this is the one, and
so good.
And this was autographed by Some Call Me Johnny.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Yep,
That's good.
Yeah,
I think mine would probably be that Link Between Worlds 3DS XL because like I love that that gold black. They had the Triforces basically in reverse, for low rule, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Say, I guess I did kind of already spill the beans on the NES edition one. I'm a sucker for that like gray and red. Like it's a very sleek design, I think, if I remember it right, because I'm pretty sure it's based off of the controller itself. To talk about it a little more at discussion, because that like there's something very pleasing to have that old school like striping of the gray and the black. It's like it's very like I associate it with almost like a matte like texture. It's a design I can feel with my hands because of like it was way before my actual time. Like my family had a lot almost like pass me down type systems. So I did have a decent amount of time with an NES when I was really young, just because they happened to already have it. So that's how I'm super weak to when I see an NES design come around. And that's why the 3DS XL NES edition really spoke to me. If they brought that design back in like Joy-Cons somehow, now I have the money. So like I'm just telling Nintendo now, please bring back that again, not just as an NSO controller. I slap that design on everything. I've liked it every time I've seen it. I will pay you now. I'm a working adult. I have finances. Let me pay you.
Let's see.
I get you.
What's next? You already answered this one, right, Rydia?
Oh yeah, it's definitely the Midnight Purple one.
Okay, so the next one is from Sone. What is a feature or app that was on 3DS besides 3D? And I'm also going to say besides StreetPass, as we already established with 3DS StreetPass. But what other feature that you wanted to see return to Switch or Switch 2?
Themes.
Well, themes, yeah.
Sorry.
Themes.
Yeah, that was the
themes.
We really needed the themes back because like I'm surprised that we've gone like a whole generation without them. And like as I open my 3DS right now, and I got the Link Between Worlds one right here currently, and like I'm like, yeah, it gives it so much personality, and I'm like, man, we really gotta like have themes because we had basic white and basic black the entire time that we had the Switch, and I'm like, are they gonna have more themes? Like maybe throw in like a red or a blue or something like that. They're like, nope, just.
It's been 9 years.
It's been 9 years. Like I think they could have like at least thrown that back in there. Like I can't think of any other like 3DS feature. Like I personally don't. I don't need a console browser. Because like I know like the last time we had a browser on a thing was on the 3DS and the Wii U, which I did use the Wii U browser a lot to like watch YouTube videos. But now we have a specialized app for that.
Yeah.
I do. I personally, I even though it's still technically in like the software, I kind of wish we still had like a dedicated like activity log.
Yes, a dedicated activity log would be nice too.
Yeah.
But I got another feature that should come back. So we talk about themes. We talk about like a dedicated activity log. But I would like for them to also bring a music app back, please.
That'd be nice.
Oh, oh yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add before I go to the next question?
I do kind of miss the web feature on the 3DS but just because of the crazy options it gave you.
That's fair. That's fair.
One time my phone was broken and I used my 3DS and a hotspot to call an Uber. So I
Right.
Wow.
I went to Uber's website on my 3DS.
And then it worked.
You got to find the exploit in life and use it. Take advantage of it.
That's helpful. It's nice.
I would say too. So maybe it lasts like a full prominent feature, and also the Wii U had this, but I'm going to continue to harp on this because I miss it dearly. Is please give me eShop music back. I'm going to count that as a feature. I think about it. The fact that it was phased out with the Switch is not a crime I've forgotten. As much as I love the system, I was like, just give me a little bit of music.
Yeah.
I already talked about listening to music all the time. I can't get it out of my head. And the fact that 3DS and the could go through, I think about how like the song changed nowadays to like for different reasons. They could just be like, oh, it's this now. And you're like, oh, it's a different tune. Like this is really cute. And like
or they change it for like the holidays.
Yeah, the Nintendo charm of having that eShop style music that started with the Wii onwards for multiple generations had so much personality. And like they're full of talented composers there. It really can't be that hard to drum up like a short 45 to minute long loop of something that's like a pleasant little earworm. I want something back because it elevated the experience so much when you got to like go into that. And the eShop on the Switch already has like its cute little ding like noise when you boot it up. So imagine that being a lead in to like a proper song that might also still take that noise and use it as like a reset for the song or like a key part of that little song as you're just shopping. Not enough to like steal your attention as you're looking at your games, but still enough to like stick with you after and be like, that was pretty good. That was nice. It's in my head now. We all love like the Wii shopping channel music for a reason. They have the power. It's there. They need to bring it back.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about the fact that when you click on the icons, a noise was made because with the different themes they had could change. So like with Monster Hunter, it sounded like a door was opening. You clicked on an icon to open it, and there were Switch themes on the 3DS, like Splatoon. It was just we need it back. We need themes. See?
Yeah, the Mega Man theme.
There's the activity log. Love the activity.
That's good. That's good.
It's like you just have this, and I have like the Mega Man theme right now playing.
Yeah.
I was getting. Oh, you can go ahead.
I was saying, I think I only had like the Between Worlds, Zelda's 30th anniversary, and I think there was like a Mario theme that I had too. Like I forget like how many themes I really had on the system.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wound up with like 6 or 7, and they're on the rotation because I'd regularly see like the Persona Q one that is out there. I have a Shantae one from Pirate's Curse, go figure, that is up as one of the ones. And there's like, there's multiple, you get to hear the game soundtrack. I remember the Pokemon one that had, I believe, black and white music as playing as one of the things. And you're like, there's a bunch of good themes, and they rotate it every time you boot it up your system into something new. You're like, oh, it's this one again. And it'd be really fun. The themes are great.
Yep. All right, so
themes are solid.
So for the next question, it's from Shad. What games do you think benefited from the 3DS hardware that no other hardware could ever replicate the experience of? Oh boy, here we go. Let's get into this one. Well, I'm gonna say this right now. Like with the 3DS, you cannot replicate like I know I've mentioned Pushmo, but with the 3D, you can't replicate the 3D from that.
The 3D in that definitely is a standout, like for sure. Like, God, I feel like replicating would be like, obviously like when I think of like 3D Land versus 3D World, like 3D World is its own kind of like it's its own kind of universe. Like I viewed them separately in a way because like 3D Land felt like so tight knit, where like it felt like the true this is like Mario 2D style, but like in 3D. 3D World definitely made it a lot more expansive because they had to kind of meet the scale of it all. But like, I feel like I feel like Mario 3D Land hasn't been replicated in the same exact way because they had to make it larger for multiplayer and stuff. And looking into, I think Bowser's Fury came kind of close because like it was a lot more condensed by comparison. But like, I feel like the whimsy of like a 3D Land kind of still sticks out in my head to this day. Where like, I don't think it's been like as faithfully replicated like compared to like other I guess Mario like titles of its time. Because Mario games are really, they end up being like these huge scale like adventures. Galaxy, Odyssey, those kind of games. 3D Land I think was one of the few times where like it felt, I guess, smaller, but like it was that wasn't like a detriment. That was like to its advantage.
Yeah. Korshal?
Yeah.
I definitely agree with 3D Land, and I keep coming around on these particular games in general, but the 3D classic stuff, like, it was able to elevate, I think, just like such a neat concept of like, layering the sprites together, which is actually just like mainly impossible. I really wish, like, you think about the Virtual Boy NSO stuff, and it really kind of like makes me think back to that difference of what the 3DS did with that. And I think if I remember right, even though I didn't own this or like the title from this series, Sega got on this for a little while too. Wasn't there the line of the Sega 3D classics? Like, I think
yeah, there were.
I have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in 3D.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
That's such a fun concept that
just...
you just can't really do anywhere else. And I know it's just kind of like, it's not necessarily essential to the gameplay experience, but it was like, it's anytime you see a nice game update of like a classic, that isn't a full-blown like remake, it's more like the remaster, and you get that fresh coat of paint that still makes you appreciate little stuff in new ways. I always thought the 3D classic type games were the perfect example of that. Of being like, oh yeah, we have this way to play Kirby's Adventure or like Sonic 2 that you just literally cannot replicate on any other type of gaming platform because of the tech that's involved with this system. So if you really want to give yourself like a different kind of visual treat by doing this, this is what you should be doing. And it, at the time gave a nice reason to port forward some games too that people may not otherwise play. So I think about those. Those are things I miss a lot when it comes to that, along with shouting out 3D Land, like you're saying, just being such like the epitome of Nintendo's, this is why you want the 3D on, being that game. Those are my two picks.
All right. What about you, Rydia?
I think 3D Land is definitely the one that is at the top of the list just because of that isometric gameplay. The whole game was designed around 3D. It's just great. It's perfect platforming, and the 3D classics, like you were mentioning, like I don't know if you have Xevious.
Yeah, I
that
have
one,
Xevious.
just like the space shooter aspect of it. The fact that you can see how the missiles are dropping because of the different layers of the 3D and trying to aim and at the different ships. It's a really, it adds to a really fun game already. Yeah. And I was just trying to think of what games, use the AR to their fullest. And, they came out with a Pokemon game, that Dream Radar game, where you were actually using your 3D as like
I forgot about that.
Shooter.
I remember that.
It was a first-person Pokemon shooter, I guess, like Pokemon Snap, but it's just a fun, strange, unique game. It would be hard to replicate without some sort of VR.
And you were able to send those Pokemon to Pokemon Black 2 or White 2. Let's see. The last question comes from System Malfunction. What 3DS game did you spend the most time on? Okay, let me pull out my activity log real quick.
I'm pulling up mine too, just to get a definitive answer.
I told people mine. I'm ashamed.
I am not proud. I'm not proud of this one. Like, it's actually my least favorite game in the main series. But
see, I feel like this is not my favorite game. Why is it my number one played game?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even like this game that.
Pokemon X.
You want to know why?
Yeah, nice.
You want to know why Pokemon X is that? Sorry, Pokemon Y. You want to know why it's that much? Because like, the story sucks. It's like that's up there as like one of the worst stories in Pokemon. Like, and the region of Kalos is completely like bare with like it's bare bones in my opinion. Like out of all the regions, but the reason I spent as much time on it is because I was reading so much Pokemon. Also, I keep leaving I leave it on like charging, so
it's idle.
Just leaving it idle. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, that's it.
I was gonna say for me, like I won't count StreetPass Me Plaza as a game because it's like a whole encompassing app, but it is my most thing at like 165 hours. It's not going to show it on the screen because it's weird. But my next one, 137 hours, is Mario Kart 7. But I'm also curious. I'm gonna pull out my other 3DS and see what's the top on that one. Because I played games on this as well, but like I'm not sure if it's like alive or dead. So I'll probably toss over to Korshal while I see if I can get this thing online here.
Yep.
Okay. So picking up mine here for reference, not counting all the hours on the 3DS sound doing my music playing, it's actually pretty close across several games, but my actual highest at 144 and a half hours is Smash Brothers 3DS, it looks like.
Oh.
So I spent a lot of time playing that with friends, and it tracks. Mario Kart 7's not too far down below with the first Chronicles, a little like 5 unders under that. But like we talked about Smash Run being like the mode, and yeah, as the storied Kirby Air Ride lover, when that fell onto my lap via Smash Brothers form, that meant I was playing that mode a lot. And you can see that through the hours I spent on that game almost entirely in that mode because it was just my dream to have that.
Yeah,
that's good.
Rydia?
So I'm a bit embarrassed. This is on this 3DS. I'm saying this isn't my original one. I'm crying. My number one was Pokemon Shuffle.
500 hours?
Oh, wow.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Nice. Let me
What's
see.
wrong with me?
I've been shuffling a long time too.
Okay, so I'm looking at
Other
mine.
top games are like Hyrule Warriors. That's number 3.
Yeah.
I love Hyrule Warriors. I will play that all day, every day.
Rydia, I've spent 89 hours and 34 minutes on Pokemon Shuffle. The last time I played it was May 9th, 2021.
Oh.
Maybe I was just trying it out again.
This is embarrassing.
When was the last time I played Pokemon Shuffle? That's like a good question. Let me see if I can scroll.
Oh God, Luigi
Final
smashed the
Fantasy Explorers.
I remember that game. That was like the Monster Hunter like Final Fantasy game.
Let's see. Looking at everything right here, I've spent over 525 hours and 3 minutes in StreetPass Me Plaza. Last time I played was today because I just checked it. Let's see. Kid Icarus Uprising, 390 hours and 10 minutes. Last time I played it was March 30th, 2024. I think I was just trying it out.
Yeah, like my rankings aren't the same one here. Just like I played more Me Plaza on this because obviously this is the travel one, but the order's still the same. Mario Kart 7, then Smash Brothers, then Kid Icarus Uprising, then 3DS Sound, then Animal Crossing New Leaf, and then Netflix.
Like the last time I played Mario Kart 7 was May 27th, 2025 because and the reason why is because I was doing a retro night where I was streaming Mario Kart games from Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart and Super Nintendo up to Mario Kart 7 because Mario Kart 8 is not a retro game.
It's old, but like I don't call it retro yet.
Is it? No, it's not a retro. Do not.
Because I was doing that as a way to hype myself up for Mario Kart World.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that's the numbers for us.
All I'm gonna say is R.I.P. Swap Note. Like we hardly knew ye. A shame a shame that some people decided to fucking use that as a way to be awful people and thus ruining the fun for everybody.
Basically, yeah.
That's the thing. If people, I like, yeah, I know, like, people talk about how we should have, like, more social apps and whatever, but you want to know why we don't? It's because of all these awful people ruin it for all of us, and we're the ones punished by it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate bit when it comes to that. You just have to really roll the punches. That's like, hey, Nintendo doesn't want to like deal with that stuff. They've dealt with it like in full with SwapNote and Miiverse, so they're like, okay, you all stick to your social media over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well. All right. So that's gonna do it for sharing with Shellshock. That was a fun episode talking about the Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah.
And eventually I'm going to be doing an episode on non-Nintendo handhelds, because I definitely want to talk about that, like talking about like the Game Gears, the Neo Geo Pocket Colors, Nokia N-Gage, the Atari Lynx. And like, and then I'm also gonna lump both the PSP and the PS Vita on that, and then I'm also gonna talk about like the new handhelds, like the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally and all that stuff. So everything, like the non-Nintendo handhelds will be a future episode sharing with Shellshock. You'll see soon enough. And I know that Epic Man.
Is an Oculus a handheld?
No.
I mean, it's a portable thing, but it's not really a handheld.
Yeah,
I was also going to say as a bit of a bookend, it's kind of funny. I think I had a StreetPass myself because my light came on a moment ago. I'm like, okay, the light's on my 3DS, my capture card here. So I StreetPassed myself in the end.
But yeah,
there we go.
Thank you guys for being a part of this. So, Sylver, Korshal, Rydia, thank you so much for being a part of this episode.
Yeah,
thanks for having us. This was so fun.
This is great. Had a good time.
Absolutely.
I learned that there was a Warriors game. I didn't know what Warriors games were before Hyrule Warriors on launch day, and now I need to find this game.
Yeah, Samurai Warriors is pretty decent.
I can recommend it, or at least, you have a way to get, like, honestly, if you haven't played any of those, Chronicles 3, or however you have means of accessing it on your 3DS, it's a fun time. I really like that game a lot. Please play it. It's good.
All right, so before we sign off, Sylver, where can we find you?
Of course, like I say, you can find me anywhere and everywhere in the world, so long as you don't name Sylverstone Khandr. Of course, currently on hiatus on Twitch, at Sylverstone Khandr on Twitch or silver.stream. Currently running a blog called Khandr's Corner, blog.silverstonekhandr.com. I might get a shorter URL in the future, because honestly, it might be useful to do that in the future. And of course, on Blue Sky at silverstonekhandr.com. So you can follow me there for all my how do I put this?
Needs?
No, I don't think all my needs. Like, all my nuggets of wisdom. Let's say that.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
That honestly works. People definitely want to know the nuggets of wisdom regarding Sylverstone Khandr. You definitely got to check them out.
Indeed.
All right. What about you, Korshal?
All right. So, as a reminder, depending on what you're looking for the Korshal Valent experience, I'm here on Twitch streaming twice or thrice, often with friends. If anyone knows like Mario Party Madness stuff and you like that kind of silly multiplayer stuff, you see me scheming a lot on there. If you want my music content, that is largely what my YouTube channel, also Korshal Valent, is for. And then I am on Blue Sky. I mainly like to repost really talented artist people that I follow or have worked with for like either like my own type of art or other like projects I think it's cool and worth sharing. So I repost a lot mainly on there. Occasionally you'll see me post like my actual projects and things I do. So those are the three, depending on what you want. Got the gaming, the music, or find other cool artists that I can vet because they're all sweet. Those are my three types. You can get me.
Absolutely. And what about you, Rydia?
You can either go to my early 2000s-ish designed website. my name.com, so just rydia.com. Or if you want pictures of games or cats or cosplay, if you go to I have the same tag across most social medias. It's just MZSYLV as in Victor ER. And that's on Blue Sky, Instagram. I return to streaming on Twitch. My YouTube channel has a lot of crazy unboxing videos with lots of amiibo on it.
Yep.
And if you want to listen to the Pokemon podcast, that's just pokeproblemspodcast.blogspot.com.
All
It's
right.
very, very long.
Yep.
Those are basically all the places.
Yep.
For sure.
Well, you can find me pretty much anywhere in the stratosphere except for Twitter, because fuck Twitter. But you can find me in most places at ShellshockPrime. Like, I do my streams usually like most days this week. Most days of any week, starting at 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern, and I usually go till midnight with a variety of streams. So next week, the next episode is going to be about how do you play Pokemon, where it's people of different groups that play different ways of Pokemon. Like whether you want to play casually, you want to play hardcore, like VGC battles, you want to shiny hunt, you want to do Nuzlocke, randomizers, and all that stuff. Or if you just like to play Pokemon Go, stuff like that. So, still finalizing the guests. We only got 2 confirmed so far. We got my friend Tyler Galemo, and we got Moonland Maple confirmed. Figuring everything out. I'm trying to find somebody who does the randomizers or like and whatnot. And I'm also looking for somebody else that specializes in VGCs, but we'll see. We're figuring that out. But that's going to be next week, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right.
Yeah. And with that's going to do it for Sharing with Shellshock for this week. Again, next week is going to be how do you play Pokemon. And I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Be awesome. Stay awesome. Tell your loved ones out there. Check them out as always. Find for lasting peace. And I'll see you guys next time. And once again, Sylver, Korshal, Rydia, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
This is so
Good night,
fun.
everybody.
Good night, everybody. And remember, be kind, rewind. Good night, everybody.